We are powered up.
And
right.
live.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Roundtable.
Good morning. He's Randy Lynch. I'm BJ Ramirez, and we have.
Trevor Cooper.
Hi, it's me. I'm back.
It's already the first Wednesday of November.
Yeah. That
How creepy.
I'm like, wow, that went by quick.
Yeah.
Because Halloween was fun.
yeah.
We had a fun Halloween.
Yeah.
We actually had
we know we
kids
got
show
sound.
up. Oh, oops.
Perfect. I didn't have to check
excellent.
it.
Yeah, he doesn't
The
have to
sound
check now.
works.
Yeah, the sound works. I
Good.
didn't even realize I had it running. But yeah, it was. We actually had some kids come to the house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We sat out on the driveway and just kind of watched the kids come up because we have a Chihuahua that just drives us nuts. Plus, in our house now, the front door is like the living room is like towards the back of the house.
Oh.
So if I decided to wait, I'd have to walk all the way. It's like, forget it. We
Yeah.
just sat out in the driveway and watched the kids go by, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
excellent.
yeah, and I had so many kids, I almost ran out of candy.
Yeah.
We,
It was nice.
we didn't
excellent.
have as many. We didn't have as many as we thought, but it was great.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
kids having fun, parents having, fun. Some kids coming up, not understanding what it was. It's like you can see they're giving me candy. What's going on? It was hilarious to watch.
It's the best thing in the world.
The
Great.
2-year break, kids have forgotten how to do this.
Yeah.
Treat or trick. Wait, no. Crap. How do I do?
Yeah.
Candy. No. So
Yeah.
speaking of many children,
Yeah.
they had their I want to say it was the Adams Radio Group thing, did their trunk or treat on the plaza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember who exactly was hosting it now.
Right.
You were right out there to see all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was right in the store
Yeah.
to see all that, and oh man, there's about 1,000 children running around.
That is so cool. Yeah, we were at
Would you like to take a guess at how many of them came into the store?
none.
About 1,000.
Oh boy.
It's just- yeah, the place was just
That
nuts
is
for
so-
like
that's
3-4
great.
hours. Yeah.
That's great.
And it was good to see, like, kids, everyone's out in costume again and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
finally. Because there wasn't one last year. So
No.
No, there was nothing. So
it was more what
Yeah.
instead of a Halloween.
Yeah, my doorbell rang twice last year.
Yeah.
And that was depressing.
Yeah.
I like seeing, especially the little kids in their costumes. I think that's just the
Yeah.
coolest thing in the world.
That's just fun.
There was one year, and the thing is, I'm sorry, I store-bought costumes are great. Don't ever diss on the kids who don't have the money for store-bought costumes.
Oh, no.
They get creative.
There was a kid that came up one year. Oh my God, his mom had taken a cardboard box and turned him into a transformer.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So he's walking around as a transformer. It's all
That's
painted
so
and everything.
cool.
It's very cool. And he says, "No, you got to see this." And he gets on his knees and he drops forward. And when he does, the back of this box closes over and he turns it into a semi truck.
That is so cool.
I was like, "Oh, your
Excellent.
mom is
Wow.
a goddess."
But that is the mom. That is the mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Love that.
So I was like, "Wow, that's so over the top and so cool."
Yeah. That's
My,
excellent.
my granddaughter was a witch. Now my daughter wasn't too sure about making her a witch, but
Yeah.
her other grandma from Missouri said, "Let me send her a costume."
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, she gets this beautiful dress that was a witch, but it was black and had this bright green accents on it. It was nice. I
That's
loved it. I was
awesome.
like, I know. My wife was like, "I'd wear that,"
Mhm.
and my wife is not about the Halloween thing. We are
Yeah.
not about. I haven't dressed for Halloween since I was 9. Okay?
Yeah.
Wow.
And but she loved it, and she got to wear her costume to school on Friday. That made her really happy. She had a great day. She was exhausted when she came home. She was on such a high. She gets
Yeah.
back on Friday afternoon and she was done. Then of course Sunday she was out. They went out and she didn't go out for a long time, but
Yeah.
yeah, you could tell they had a great time.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see that.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Because we lived in an apartment for the first 7 years we were here,
Yeah.
Mm,
and there was nothing going on there.
no.
Yeah.
No, you kind of got to be in a
Yeah.
house to get
Yeah.
the trick or treat
So
action.
this is our first year in a house here, so it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
because in Missouri it was a lot of fun. We would, because it's cold in Missouri. It's like 40
Yeah.
degrees now.
Yeah.
And so we would be out on the driveway with a fire pit and we'd have, fire. Well, we did it one year. And then the following year, it's like almost every house did the same thing because, doorbell rings. We had 4 dogs in the house trying to keep them from getting out. So we're like, forget it. We're going out. We're going to sit out there. And
Right.
man, it became a thing that everybody walk around and go say hi to everybody else. And it was so cool.
It was like that in Montana growing up as
Yeah.
a kid. Like
It's a cold weather thing.
It-
It's a cold climate thing.
when Halloween gets around, there's already snow in
Yeah.
the ground in Montana.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't walk the neighborhood and go door to door. You get in the truck. Dad drives like he's a mailman just up to the sidewalk of each
Yeah.
neighbor's house, and you jump out, run up, trick or treat. Oh, thank you. Back in the truck.
we Kathy and I did our podcast before. We did it early so that so she mentioned that we're doing it. You could tell that the light was different. So we're doing it early today because we're going to be sitting out with the trick-or-treaters, handing out candy and listening to, and then she starts busting up laughing, going, we're going to be listening to Jesus music on Halloween while the little ghouls and goblins are coming up for a trick. And because we said we'll just have our speaker out there, we'll listen to our Jesus music, all day long. She thought this was going to be fun, and then all of a sudden we get to the podcast. She starts and she realized how funny that was.
Yeah.
So it was like, and we did. We had our
Yeah.
Jesus music playing while the kids are coming up. That's our own spin,
Right. I was one of the cats that used to play the Jesus music when doing the trick or treat things at churches.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm no stranger to it.
Okay, cool. Because when we were in Missouri, we had our oldest stepson. My oldest stepson, he would have a bunch of his friends over,
Yeah.
and one night they were doing a Ouija board.
Mm.
Did not make my wife happy. So
No.
she's upstairs playing the Jesus music, and because he made the claim, "Mom, we're not going after. We're just talking to good spirits."
Right.
So she plays the
we
Jesus
think.
music upstairs, and he says, "Mom, you got to turn off the Jesus music." And she goes, "Why?" Because it's not working. He goes, "Well, if they're good spirits, they wouldn't mind."
Right. What, you can't call Jesus on it?
Exactly. I was like, "Oh man, that was bad."
You got to be careful about your music. Remember,
Exactly.
God loves Dylan. A little bit of Skinner. And basically, I sat inside and just waited for the
Yeah.
kids to come up to the door.
Yeah.
My dog barks just the right amount, so I know that they're close. And
Right.
I sat here watching Eli Roth's History of Horror
Yeah.
all night, which, yeah,
That's
I mean,
cool.
even when the kids stopped, I'm just like, oh, I've got 5 episodes to go. I've got 4 episodes to go. I'm not going to bed until I finish this because it's
Yeah.
too good.
You get a case of the one more episodes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
3 o'clock
Yeah,
in the morning. I can do just one more.
See, I get upset at shows that come on streaming services where it's like 1 episode a week
Yeah.
because I want to see more. But at the same time, it's the worst thing in the world for me when an entire series drops everything
Yeah.
one night because I'll just sit there and go through it.
Yeah.
And there's so much out right now.
During the lockdown, the March 2020, during lockdown, we were sitting around and we thought, oh, NCIS, we've seen a few episodes of that.
Yeah.
There's 16 seasons.
Yes.
Let's start watching that.
And now we have
oh my
time.
gosh, it was addicting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I took the time, went through every episode of every Star Trek show ever,
Wow.
Wow.
which is a lot, but not enough.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to the end of a series, you're like, yeah, but I want a little bit more.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't get that.
Yeah.
Although with the new shows coming out,
There's more.
there's more Star Trek
Yeah.
being televised right now than ever. Not even counting the upcoming movies that they're talking about. You've got
comic book.
yeah, you got the comic books.
Mirror War just comes out.
Mm.
Number 2, 3
Yeah,
come out today.
yeah. And Paramount Plus, you've got Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Lower Decks. We're going to
Yeah.
be seeing Brave New Worlds, which
Yeah.
which follows Captain Pike and his crew,
Yeah.
including a very young Spock. And the actor is really good.
That's cool.
They're doing an animated series for younger kids called Prodigy,
Mm.
which unfortunately has an animated Janeway, but I can overlook that.
Well, I will say that after the trick or treaters were done, which was only like 8:15 because it was school
Yeah.
night. Went
Mhm.
inside, made some popcorn, watched Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
My
Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
tradition.
Yeah.
So my Halloween was complete.
Yeah, my two that I watched, I got to see already. Army of Darkness
Mhm.
and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh
Have
yeah.
to watch those every
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Mine for a long time there, and I don't know why, had become watching Boondock Saints, even though you would think that's more St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
I know, it was just like every Halloween there for a while was watching the Boondock Saints.
those are such good movies.
Yeah.
And incredibly violent. But they draw you in. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
even people who aren't into the violent stuff, they're just like, these are just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why whenever I take on a hit, I always bring rope.
I always have my rosary. So
Yeah.
I'm not even Catholic, and I keep a rosary with me.
I missed something there. Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to educate him on too much stuff
Yeah.
at once. I've lent him
like
a
being-
DVD of
Oh,
the full
that's
Justice
right.
League.
I've got
the
Oh,
Snyder
wow.
Cut.
I've got to watch
So yeah,
it's sitting in my music room. I got to watch that.
see. I know you haven't started it because you're not traumatized by the length yet.
I know. when he handed it to me in front of my wife,
Uh-huh.
and he told her how long it was, and she's like, "Oh, you're watching that on your own."
See, I've made it very clear that there's no rush to get it back to me,
Okay.
and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
start watching that.
A 4-hour movie is not something to sneeze at,
Mm,
Yeah.
but man, it's so worth it.
yeah.
And yeah, we're seeing a bunch of genre stuff that's getting ready to come out.
Yep.
Of course, we just saw Dune drop.
Yep.
What, 2 weeks ago?
Mhm.
Denis Villeneuve has done a whole new movie, and it follows the book so much better. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you've got to. It's awesome. It's beautiful. I watched it on HBO Max because it dropped the same day,
Right.
and I want to go to the theaters. I want to see this on the big screen because
Yeah.
it's that good.
Yeah.
And yeah, they didn't even try to do the whole book. Instead of trying to jam everything in and make it really confusing and weird.
Mhm. They're like, it's gonna have a sequel.
Yeah, they didn't go quite halfway through the
Yeah.
book.
Well, and I mean, when you have a big enough budget and it's a well-known enough property,
Mhm.
and then you look at the history of any kind of pop culture nerd franchise,
Mhm.
like, yeah, we're gonna make more of them. Well, what if it doesn't do well? Listen, it's got Jason Momoa.
Yes.
Oh, so we're
Yeah.
making 3 of them?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if we got enough content for that. Can we make 3 of them?
See, you put Jason Momoa in, the women come, the guys go with them, and you doubled it right there. It's
Like,
like,
well, how do we get the fellas? Well, Zendaya's also in it.
Yes.
there you go. It's kind of like when you make a child movie. It's like you're gonna get the kids to go, and the parents have to take them. So you're
Mhm.
definitely, it's kind of cheating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're seeing the movies come back. A lot of them are now coming out as theatrical only releases.
Yeah.
Of course, we're looking a couple weeks away from Disney Plus having Shang-Chi
Yep.
on
It's
on
coming up.
the service.
Didn't Eternals just release too? Or was about to?
I think it does this week.
this week. Yeah.
Wait, Shang-Chi, what's that?
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
So imagine
Oh.
Marvel had an idea once to go, you know who's popular? That Bruce Lee fella.
yeah.
What if we
Ah,
make a superhero that's just one of them Bruce Lee fellas? And that's what he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is just a kung fu master
okay.
He's amazingly
or
cool.
master of the martial arts.
Master of
You've
martial
got-
arts. Yeah.
You got my interest there.
Yeah. I read these comics back when they were coming out, and they were so good
Uh,
because I was like, yeah, that's Bruce Lee, but in a Marvel comic,
Mm.
that's
Mm,
awesome.
Okay.
And I wasn't even into comics at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is cool. Well, with the movie, they have put I can't remember the guy's name that's playing Shang-Chi. I've only seen him in one other show.
yeah.
It's a show called Kim's Convenience. It's on Netflix,
Mm.
and it's a little comedy thing about a family that owns a Korean family in Canada that own a little convenience store,
Mhm.
and it's funny, and he's funny.
yeah.
And they put him in this with Aquafina, who is also known for her comedy,
Mhm.
and it works really well
Mm.
because the comedy is there. It's funny, but it's funny in the right ways. It's organically funny, and when they get serious, they're both really good at serious too. The whole movie is beautiful. It's over the top pretty. don't want to do any spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen
Yeah.
it because I don't know how many people
I-
are going to movies.
I haven't seen it myself yet.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it to hit Disney Plus.
There is a character that shows up from one of the other Marvel movies before that when he comes up, you're going to be like, oh crap. And Michelle Yeoh is in it. And
Yeah.
I just love Michelle Yeoh. It's a beautiful movie. I would rank this probably in my top 3 of the best Marvel movies ever. I'd put Thor a little bit higher. I'm gonna put this one at number 2. And I don't know, number 3, maybe, I don't know, maybe Black Panther.
Mm.
Black Panther was good. I liked
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was so good. And it comes out on Disney Plus. I'm watching it again.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth watching multiple times. And yeah, like you said, the Eternals comes out.
Yeah.
I believe it's this week. And that's
Which is
Angelina Jolie.
It's such a crazy notion to me that they picked of all of their film of all of their franchises to make films on. They're like, let's do the Eternals. The
It's
what?
weird.
The Eternals, it's like the ancient beings, superheroes, space, celestial.
Mhm.
The what? And like, no one knew who the Eternals are.
Well, it's going to be huge because Jack Kirby created them.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. But almost every character that Jack Kirby created on his own, they're hard to understand.
Jack Kirby also gave us the new gods.
Yeah.
And I think their explanation of Steppenwolf and Darkseid in the last one, well, in the theatrical at least, was enough to be like, let's not do new gods.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who they are.
And it's a confusing thing to get into.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with this. I don't know where they're going to take it, if they're going to simplify them. I know that there's at least going to be a shot of a celestial.
Yeah.
Which it brings in a whole new thing that they haven't even dealt with in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all.
Yeah.
It's
They've had
origin
little
creatures that,
right.
yeah.
So you see one celestial, I think, once in the
Mhm.
entire MCU so far, and that was in Guardians of the Galaxy when Tanler Tavan is talking about the Infinity Stones,
Mhm.
and he's like,
And it's just a real
"Items of
quick
great
flash.
power," and there's the guy with the lines, like
Mhm.
big giant robot. That's a celestial. That's the only time you ever see one.
Yeah. So this is part of the mythos they've never dealt with.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to work out.
Mhm.
I've already seen some people online talking about how bad this movie is, even with it not being out yet. And these are not always. Sometimes there are people who've gotten advanced screenings. A lot of times they're not. They haven't seen it at all, but they're still slamming it.
Yeah.
Be careful doing that.
Yeah.
As soon as you do, it'll be an incredible movie.
Yeah.
They said the same thing about Shang-Chi. They're like, yeah, it's
Mhm.
going to be trash. It's going to be garbage. No one even knows the character. Nobody cares. And then it came out and the world went, oh, yeah, this is my jam.
It was so good. They did everything right.
Yeah.
Including, they didn't make this huge deal about it being, it's Chinese characters.
Yeah.
No, of course, it's obvious.
Yeah.
You don't need to slam it home with every bit of the movie.
Right.
It's beautifully done, and of course, man, the cameos that are in it are great. They're
Yeah.
perfectly balanced. And it's all tying into what's coming from the Marvel Universe with the new Doctor Who movie. Doctor Strange movie. God, I want a Doctor Who movie so bad. And of course, in theaters now is the Venom movie, Venom 2.
Yeah.
I've heard things.
I have too. I actually heard from a guy in the theater, about one of the workers, that he hadn't seen Shang-Chi, but he'd seen Venom, and he was telling me after the movie, because how was it? I loved it. And he says, well, you need to see Venom. He says, Venom's really good. I was like, okay. I liked the first Venom. It was really well done.
I'm really hoping they took Woody out of the Ronald wig.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
He's straight up, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm killing people.
Hey, it looked like the comic book. But sometimes that's not a great idea.
Yeah, we can diverge from those roads.
Thinking,
it's okay.
Somewhere along the line, somebody had to say, yeah, this isn't looking right.
Yeah.
Somebody I like the shaved head, Woody. I know it's kind of your thing, natural bug. I get it. Can we get a Ronald McDonald wig?
Yeah.
They're perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, there was no doubt they didn't have, all they had to do was show him at the end of the first Venom movie,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you knew who it was just by
Yeah.
looking at him.
Yeah.
So there was that. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, they're not doing that with this one. So that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. The first one was so well done, and they're going to have more banter between
Mhm.
the Eddie Brock and the symbiote.
That was in the first movie, because my wife and I looked at it when we first saw the Venom. We're like, no, not going to happen. And then I see a clip, and I was like, okay, wait a second. So we watched it, and we were laughing.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
We're laughing at a monster that's eating people, and we thought,
Right.
this is funny.
Yes.
This is really good. It was really a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they tied everything together really
Yeah.
nice. They skipped over the really dark stuff at the beginning of the comic book origin of
Yeah.
the character, and it started with the anti-hero part,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
You know, it's written
skipped
well.
straight into the lethal protector.
You know, it's written well when you got some carnage and yet you're laughing about it.
Yes.
Like we binged the Blacklist
Mhm.
on Netflix.
Oh, good show.
That I mean, we see a guy get shot and we're cheering.
Yeah.
My wife
Oh, yeah.
and I are literally cheering. We thought, how morbid is this? You
Well,
know?
my for me, the sign of a really good story is when you have somebody who would normally not be the hero and
Yeah.
you're cheering for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you have a movie like that has a dark tone, but yet you're having fun watching it, that's how you know it's really written well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there are some that, you know, it's like supposed to be fun, and you're like, why am I? There's 2 hours of my life I won't get back.
Right. Oh yeah.
So segue, speaking of carnage, and it's worth bearing because it's this year's way bigger than Tiger King. Squid Game.
Oh my God.
What?
Yes.
I've avoided. I heard. I don't know why, but something told me avoid this.
So
It's disturbing.
Yes. Did you see Hunger Games?
No, I have
You've never
yet
seen
to
the Hunger
that.
Games. Okay. So you take the premise of basically you know, oh, you need some money? Well, why
Okay.
don't you compete on a reality show
Oh,
where we give you money?
And you play kids games.
Yeah.
That's pretty innocent
Like
and easy.
like red light, green light.
Uh-huh.
okay.
But if you lose, you die.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
dear.
execute you.
Yeah. And it's all these little
Wow.
challenges and things. And it's like, all right, you got 2 minutes to break a circle out of this cookie.
Mhm.
Go. Oh, and if you break the inner circle, we put a bullet in your head.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
the literally.
Good
Oh, and
idea.
it's all
so
in
avoiding
Korean.
it was a good idea.
It is a K-drama. It's in Korean.
Ah, so,
So-
it's subtitled.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I read the
Amazing
book first.
cast.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's done very, very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's yeah.
It does some head gamey things.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's exactly what I think that The Bachelor should be. There was I forget which parody movie it was, but they were doing a parody of The Bachelor in the middle of this movie. And yeah, when he's sitting there and saying, "Yeah, I'm not choosing you," he pulls his shotgun and shoots him, and they go flying off. I'm like, okay.
Excellent.
Oh my God.
I'm
I just
sorry.
had- I just
I think that Survivor was guilty of untrue advertising just in their name,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
because everybody survived.
Yeah. But this show is apparently like everyone is you know talking about watching it and stuff. And they're like, and it's kind of interesting because it's watching people go, yeah, there's a whole bunch of like Korean drama shows and they're all really good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what I've watched for the last like three years.
Well, it's
I've
funny.
been telling everyone, and they're like, "Well, I don't like to read my shows." All right.
So, and a lot of these shows, if they're done by good companies, they have really good dubs as well.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be perfect, but you
Yeah.
know, you can always do that. Yeah, as Americans, we're kind of insulated. We think about, you know, the movie industry as being Hollywood, and that's true.
Yeah.
But there's the Korean movies, there's the Japanese movie scene, the Chinese movie scene.
Mhm.
There's Bollywood, which is the
Is, I
biggest
mean,
movie
yeah.
company industry in the world.
Yeah.
They dwarf us by number of movies produced and by money they draw in.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and most Bollywood movies are really hard to follow, but they've got great dance numbers. So
Right.
some of the best dance numbers you'll ever
Yeah.
see.
I'll never
Oh,
forget the clip of the Bollywood Spider-Man movie I saw where he
Oh,
saves the girl and then takes off flying. As you do.
One of my favorite shows, besides Stargirl, that's on the CW right now, is DC's Legends of Tomorrow,
Yeah.
which has been so damn good. And they did an episode with a Bollywood number in it. I was just like, oh my god, this is perfect,
Just,
and it's so well done.
just doing the jai ho.
Yes. Oh yeah. Awesome. By the way, that's what I was binging last night, was the new episodes of Legends of Tomorrow. Another great DC show. Yeah, you've got new stuff coming on Disney Plus, although there's nothing right now, but you got a bunch of of
What If
DC stuff
finished,
as well.
right?
But
Yeah.
I did
first season.
see 2 trailers yesterday
Mhm.
for something coming out on Disney Plus. Obi-Wan
Yes.
Yeah.
and the Book of Boba Fett, or the story of
Book
Boba
of
Fett.
Boba Fett.
Book
Book
of
of
Boba
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Then that, but they both look really good.
Yeah.
From what I saw, so I was like, and that's the one thing that we'll get nerdy about. But man, the Boba
Yeah.
Fett one looks very interesting.
Oh yeah, and that's going to lead right into the next season of Mandalorian.
Yeah, which is
So,
I'm just like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. I still get chills watching the Kenobi trailer.
Oh
with
yeah.
the Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, going, he got cut in half.
Yeah.
And
Well, there-
existed on pure hatred and
Like,
rage.
Wow.
And the great thing is, I'm not terribly happy with what Disney did with the continuity for Star Wars, because they took all the novels that were
Yeah.
part of continuity
Mm.
out,
Yeah.
and some of those novels were so well done.
Yeah.
So I hate losing that. But the fact that they're doing this continuity, yeah, they're bringing Darth Maul back. Well, this
Mhm.
isn't the first time we've seen Darth Maul since he was cut in half.
Yeah.
He was in the animated Clone
Yeah.
Wars series, and they did it very, very well. They explained it, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. That works.
Yeah.
It's a little far fetched, but it's Star Wars, so
I
who
think
cares?
people,
Right.
people fail to realize that when George Lucas did Star Wars, it literally was episode 4. He'd written this
Mhm.
whole big thing, and when he decided, he thought episode 4 would be the best
He figured he had one shot, and
movie.
that was it.
So exactly. So the one shot he had, he thought 4 would be
Yeah.
the best one
Mhm.
out of them all, and then he just went on. They were already written.
Oh yeah.
So he already, and we said, okay, well, we'll do 5 and then 6. And then he had the idea, well, we'll go back and do
Yeah.
1 through 3. And I think he overdid it there, but still.
Well, and
yeah.
I think another part of it too is the technical limitations. One of
Yeah.
the hardest things for them to do was do the lightsabers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's like, "This is the height of the Jedi. There's going to be a lot of lightsaber. I don't think we can do this
Yeah.
unless I send them all out with glow sticks."
Yeah. It was, but and we were talking earlier that George Lucas didn't invent sci-fi
Right.
or all that, but he's the one that
Made it a household.
brought it up, brought
Yeah.
it to life, showed everybody how to bring it to life, and
Right.
show it.
And for the
properly.
space shows, we have basically 2 creators with different
Right.
points of view,
Roddenberry,
Roddenberry
Lucas.
and Lucas.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at almost everything that's a space science fiction, they follow one of those 2 schools, or somewhere mixed between the 2.
Yeah.
So you have your more cerebral exploring, but also looking inside, and then you have your space wizards that
Yeah.
Because when Star Wars came out, there was nothing else like it.
no.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So there were people that didn't. There were people that saw the movie maybe 2 or 3 times and still didn't know what the story was, because they were
Mhm.
so focused on all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
a lot of your sci-fi was Doctor Who
Yeah.
and Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Where
Oh, I
there
remember
wasn't
that
a whole
one.
lot of
Yeah.
content of people
How many-
fighting in space.
And
Right.
then you look at it, you look at all the shows that you see the spaceships, and if you look closely, you can see the strings that are holding the
Yeah.
models
Oh,
up
yeah.
still.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's those things, but that's all they had.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you had to use a little bit of imagination.
Well, one of the things that I was watching in one of these documentaries that I watched this past week, they were talking about the original War of the Worlds movie.
Mm.
And people were going back and seeing it multiple times because they were so blown away by the effects. They didn't really follow the story as much. 'Cause
Exactly.
Right.
and you take a look at those effects, and they still, in that movie, they still hold up to this day.
Yeah.
And there's something, I was watching it in parallel to the new version, the Spielberg version with
Mhm.
um
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Mm.
And quite frankly, effects wise, I prefer the 50s version.
Yeah.
The problem that we get into today is we can do all these effects, so we do them all,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it gets to be too much, and we go into like visual overload.
There's also decidedly less Tom Cruise in that version.
There is, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a big plus.
yeah. I have mixed feelings in every movie that Tom Cruise dies in, because Tom Cruise dies, and that's kind of a good thing to see. But then he always comes back to life, and he turns out to be immortal, and that's that crushes my
that's
soul.
because his Thetan count is too high.
That's it. Yeah.
Got him.
No midi-chlorians though.
We're doing an L. Ron Hubbard movie. Tom Cruise is like, I will murder everyone in the building if you don't put me in it.
Yeah, well, you know what? At this point, I don't think anybody is gonna want to be in an L. Ron Hubbard movie, considering what happened the last time they did one of those.
Yeah.
Wow, that was bad. That was unbelievably bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see. One of the
So
things,
with that horrible segue,
one of the things that I wanted to get into this past month, but
Yeah.
you were sick and out, so we didn't
Yeah.
get into it. There's lots of different types of nerdy stuff, and one of the nerdy things
yes.
is horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're and not really anything that we're big experts in, not any of us,
Right.
but still, one thing that we know, because you'd have to be living actually under a rock with no cable, and most rocks have cable.
Hey, I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, we don't have cable either.
No, I don't either, but you gotta have some. Well,
All
I've
right.
got streaming, so it's all the
Yeah.
same thing.
All
Okay.
right.
All right,
Fair.
so-
Counts.
Go ahead.
But everybody knows Stephen King.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the basics of Stephen King.
They called him the master of horror.
Oh yeah.
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 Carrie, Firestarter,
Christine.
Christine,
It.
Pet Cemetery.
Dark
Cemetery.
Tower.
That, when I was a kid, it was
Misery.
Pet Cemetery was the big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Misery was a Stephen King. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Actually, so was what's his name? Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a short story called The Body
Oh,
originally. Yeah, he's done all sorts of stuff, and it's not all horror,
Yeah.
but it's
Dark.
got a definite Stephen King-y feel.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen King has signed on, has been licensed out anyway for a bunch of stuff coming this next couple of years. So yeah, we are looking at several new things, and just to go through a few of them. Except where'd it go? There it went. Stupid thing. Don't go off my page. So one of the things that's going to come out is going to be The Boogeyman.
Mm.
It's an adaptation of one of King's short stories from '73. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it could be kind of cool. Based on King's short story Jerusalem's Lot from the Night Shift collection, and I bet you guys have never seen the Night Shift movie.
Mm-mm.
It was not really worth watching, but they're going to do a reboot of Christine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one
We'll
I knew
see.
about.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I get nervous with reboots, except for The Shining, because that was done so poorly as far as following the source material that Stephen King was just livid.
Yeah.
It basically took them redoing it as an NBC movie,
Yeah.
which they did very well. And when he did Dr. Sleep, they changed the story up to kind of rectify some of the differences between the two.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. The Dark Half is going to be coming. Cat and mouse thriller involving two women, based on the story Rest Stop. Drunken Fireworks. I don't know about this.
They're making a movie about New Mexico 4th of July.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about that one. They are doing a reboot of Firestarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we need that, because that first Firestarter, Drew Barrymore, it was
Right.
so good.
Right.
and so perfect. From a Buick 8 is coming out. They are doing Hearts, which
Mm.
is going to basically be Hearts of Atlantis, the movie with Anthony Hopkins, which is tied in with the whole thing with the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
Basically, everything that Stephen King's written is parts of the multiverse that he's created around the Dark Tower at the middle of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all in there. Basically, at the end of Hearts of Atlantis, you see these guys come and take this one character away, and they're agents from the Dark Tower. They don't discuss that in that book, but it comes out in the Dark Tower novels. All what 12 of them?
Something like that.
It's a huge number. Yeah. They're gonna do the Jaunt, and I don't know a whole bunch about that one. It's an interplanetary story, a teleportation journey gone wrong. Joyland. Here's the one, and I was actually talking with the owner over at Zia Comics. He's a big Stephen King fan, and his favorite Stephen King story is being made into a movie, The Long Walk. This is interesting. Basically, you were just talking about Squid Games.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. It's a contest where you can win a ton of money. You have to start this walk, and like a marathon sort of walk, and you have to keep going. There are designated times to stop and rest and to eat, but otherwise you have to keep moving. If you don't, you die. I don't know how they're going to do this, but the story was very tense. So yeah, we'll see what they do with the movie. Frank Darabont is going to be involved with that. He's already done the Shawshank Redemption and the Green Mile, so he's got experience with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what goes on there. They're going to do Overlook. I don't know. Overlook is the name of the hotel from The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes over. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is going to be producing that.
I mean, generally, I would think you don't want to name a project after a verb, which means to not watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can overlook this one.
Yeah, but when we're giving people names that are adverbs, like Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was so good.
Or the classic Jack Black film, Johnny Skidmarks. Don't even get me started.
Yeah. Sleeping Beauties is coming to AMC. It's a bestseller that Stephen King wrote with his son Owen. It was released during the winter 2020. The basics about this story. Set in a small Appalachian town where there's a strange mystical occurrence that causes all the women to fall asleep, leaving the men to try and rescue them. But do the women want to be rescued? This could be interesting. My experience, if your woman is sleeping, don't wake her up. She's going to be pissed. Unless, of course, she's dreaming about you cheating on her, in which case you're in trouble no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Was that a little personal?
Don't go there.
They're going to do Suffer Little Children, The Talisman, Throttle. They are going to redo the Tommyknockers. Tommyknockers was creepy. We'll see how they do with that. James Wan is apparently attached to the project.
Okay.
James Wan has proven himself to be very good at horror.
Yeah.
So we'll see. His movies. He's been involved in the Conjuring universe here lately, and those are rough movies. They're tense all the way through. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. So on the nerdy side of horror, Stephen King is coming up pretty strong. By the way, if you want to see something that's been out for a little bit, but it is on Paramount Plus right now, and I watched it here recently. I'd never seen it. Sat down and watched A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I heard that one is really good.
It is so good. It is so tense. It's bad when you're sitting there watching a movie, and even after the movie's over, you're very conscious of every sound you make because the whole idea of the movie is you cannot make noise. Making noise draws in the alien killers, and then you're done. So and they do it so well that you're just like, no.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the sequel yet, but this first one was so good and so focused on the family in it and the relationships. I was blown away. And John Krasinski is the guy that put this thing together.
Yeah.
You're known for his comedy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that played Shazam.
Right. Shazam and Chuck.
And Chuck. And yeah, he's proving his acting chops all over the place. He's good in everything.
Yeah. That was Krasinski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, goofy little kid at the time, and now, man, he's proven himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all of that going on. Yeah, lots of Stephen King coming out. So fans of King, you've got stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
We really need to find somebody to come on the show who is more into that. So
I was going to say, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like, I know of the things. I don't watch horror movies at all.
Yeah,
Neither do I.
I am a big old scared cat.
I like a good horror movie. I don't like a slasher movie for the most part, with certain exceptions, because there is a new movie coming out next year.
Yeah,
Scream. And I think they're just naming it Scream.
Then what is this, like 6 or 7 now?
Something like that. And I'm a little bit concerned because Wes Craven has died,
right?
So he can't be involved in making these, and he's part of the reason the movies were so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're bringing back the whole cast. They're getting drawn back into another set of murders. And
okay, so this isn't actually like a film about a killer, because the guy's definitely not good at his job.
No.
Because they keep surviving.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? I just make phone calls late at night and ask if girls like scary movies.
If he just
that's all he does.
If he'd leave it at that, he'd be fine. He'd still be alive.
Just, do you like scary movies? Yeah, I do. Okay, bye.
Speed dial the next number.
He's just a surveyor. That's all it is. Excuse me, do you have a minute to talk about your favorite scary movies?
Oh man, no, I actually love these, and it starts off with Officer Dewey. I guess he's not a cop. I don't know if he's a cop or not in this one, but he calls up Nev Campbell's character, and he's telling, says, it's starting again. Says, we've had 3 murders, the same thing. And he says, do you have a gun? And it just shows her, you just see in the back of her head. She turns to the camera, so you see her, and she says, I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I have a gun. Like, yeah, at this point you better. But yeah, they all show up again to deal with this. Well, the ones that have survived. And
it's right along the same vein of where horror movies are kind of going. So I guess it kind of makes sense, because we just had the Halloween.
Yeah.
The new one. I haven't seen it.
Evil Dies Tonight.
Yeah.
And then they
brought back Jamie Lee Curtis.
They beat on him a little bit and then turned their back on him. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, no one ever said these people are smart. They're like, this is the same. Every single horror movie is, hello, Billy. I'm gonna get naked and take a shower.
Oh, and don't forget the big line. It's not funny.
Yeah. It's not funny, you guys.
It's like that. I love that commercial that makes fun of the horror movies when they say, well, let's hide in the basement, let's hide in the attic. Why can't we just get in the running car?
I love that commercial.
It's awesome. We'll hide behind the chainsaws, and then the look on the guy's face like, oh God.
And of course, if you want to see first of all, Scream is a deconstruction of the slasher movie.
Yeah.
A great deconstruction, because they break it down in detail. What the tropes are, what the rules are. But there's also another series called Scary Movie, and especially the first one. Oh my God.
Oh, I love those.
Which
there
then
was
went
one
and lampooned.
Yeah, there was one
many films.
I'm somewhere in the house. You're behind the sofa. How do you know that? I can see your feet.
My favorite was Damon Wayans' character, who's smoking weed throughout the whole movie.
God.
He gets shot and his lung. He goes, "Oh, they hit me in the lung," and there's smoke coming out.
Oh God, yes.
I don't know why that was my favorite part.
I think my favorite character is still a lot of people's no, my strong hand.
Oh God, yes, that was horrible.
There was also were you close to the victim? Oh yeah, I was real close, but then the roofies wore off, and then she started talking about pressing charges.
Oh my god. And of course, you deal with horror, you also deal with humor because yeah, I was watching this thing about Gremlins too.
Yeah.
The episode was called Sequels That Don't Suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the neat thing was hearing what was going on with that. The guy that produced and put out Gremlins, they were trying to get him to do a sequel, and he says absolutely not.
Yeah.
Says it was a nightmare. It was the hardest schedule to get that thing in. We were
Mhm.
fighting constantly just to get this thing
Mhm.
done, and it was horrible. I will never do another one. And the studio told him something he'd never heard before. He says, "You can do whatever you want," and he says, "Nobody's ever offered me that before."
Yeah.
So if you watch Gremlins 2, the whole movie is making fun of Gremlins,
Yeah.
and that's his writing.
Right.
He decided to do that, and
Oh.
of course, the studio's like, "Hey, we told you can do whatever you want,
Right.
as long as it makes money. We don't care."
Yeah,
Right.
and it
And it-
did.
Yeah.
It did. I think it was actually better than the first one.
Yeah.
It was just
And he just used it to dunk on his earlier project. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
aren't you kind of making fun of yourself? He's like, shut up. And they paid me.
yeah. Phoebe Cates is talking about why she was traumatized by Lincoln's birthday, and I was just like, "What the hell is this?"
It's
Yeah.
amazing how some movies do get made, because I remember I just had a vision of the Eddie Murphy movie Best Defense,
hmm
and he said this is one of the worst movies that was ever made.
Mhm.
He goes, but the money they offered, because I saw the script. I said, no way, this movie sucks. And he
Mhm.
goes, but the money they offered me, y'all would have done Best Defense too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Obscene amounts of money can
Yeah.
kind of, your principles take a little bit of a backseat there.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, what do we have going on in
That's
the area?
Stuff going on. Man.
Yeah, starting with the thing that I just saw come up a minute ago.
Mhm.
Icebox Brewing Company has just added something. This is the Icebox out on Picacho. So this Saturday, no, it's next Saturday, November 13th
Ah,
at 2 p.m. So you got a little bit of time.
okay.
Cornhole for a cause.
Mm.
And this is not what it sounds like. They're throwing beanbags into okay, maybe it is what it sounds like. I don't know.
What was the cause for this cornholing?
your personal life, I'm not going to judge.
There was a comedian that did a joke about that, and he goes, my mother-in-law says to me, come on, it's time for cornhole. I'm the cornhole champion in 3 counties. I don't need to know that, hon.
But they're going to be running cornhole proceeds for the Humane Society of Doñana
Oh,
County.
that's great.
Yeah, 2 to 6 on the 13th. $40 per team. It's a 2-person team.
Okay.
Cornhole is interesting. I'm not any good at it.
Yeah.
It is a tailgate game. Then.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Oh,
few
yeah.
times I remember playing it when I drank heavily in college was
That's-
getting hit in the shins with beanbags.
Yeah, that's the purpose of the game, is to get drunk and
I thought
Oh, yeah.
that was part of the
playing
rules.
cornhole is an excuse to get drunk, and being drunk
Just
is
get-
an excuse for how bad you are at the game. There you
You
go.
There you
get
go.
smashed, and then you smash your friends with
There you
beanbags.
go.
No, that's why you got that's why you got red Solo cups
Right.
There you
and
go.
ping pong balls.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's the main
But
thing
that
there.
sounds like a fun time. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and something kind of different,
Yeah.
because we don't see a lot of cornhole out here. Most cornhole goes
Not
on
really,
behind
no.
closed doors in this town. So
Moving on.
on those smaller sets, just families throwing the beanbags by
Mhm.
themselves. That's what I meant. That's
Okay.
all I meant. God, get your
What else is going
get your
on?
mind
Yeah.
out of the gutter. I swear. Well, let's see. Also on November 13th at noon,
Mm.
if you go to Don Felix Cafe, BJ
That's
Ramirez is going to be playing.
Who's
on
that?
The 13th.
I don't
Oh,
know.
And
Yeah.
then I'll be at Salud on Sunday, the 14th.
Yes.
So that's a back-to-back.
And
Excellent.
Salute's
I
awesome.
got through October. So now it's like a back-to-back. Yeah, sure. Why not?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Made it out.
But it was Salud now has just to mention it, I was there Friday, and they now have a back patio,
Mhm.
and it is fantastic. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It is very nice, and it's kind of enclosed. So once they get the heaters going,
That'll
because it
be
was
cool.
just cool enough, and they had just ordered the tank, so they didn't have them yet. But yeah, we're heading into that colder weather time, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
It was good.
This Saturday, if you happen to be out around Young Park, they're going to
Yep.
be doing from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. our 50th annual
Wow.
Renaissance Fair.
Oh my gosh.
50th annual. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
yeah.
If you are from somewhere else,
Mhm,
say Austin,
mhm,
Colorado,
Yeah.
mhm,
Washington,
mhm.
just about anywhere in California, please be aware
This is
we're
not
kind of
is-
podunk.
This is New Mexico. We're not because
It's not a huge thing.
it's not because in California, I have a very good friend of mine who I performed with. She's now doing Celtic music,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's where her heart always was. Even when she was doing country, she talked about it, but she is busy all year long simply going to Renaissance fairs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're all over California, and she drives to all of them. It's not that she is extremely so. It's a huge thing in California. Not so much out here.
Yeah.
No.
But you know what we have that they don't have? A ratapult. So there you go.
That is true.
What?
Checkmate, Californians.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Who?
a ratapult.
What is that?
Yeah.
You take a catapult, you put a rat in it, and then you launch it, and it's a ratapult.
And the kids catch it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a real rat.
Oh, God.
As you've got this look on your face, like,
Most
oh my
of the
God.
time.
No wonder. Yeah, no wonder we have the highest
Sponsored
rate
by
of.
the CDC.
There was that one time back in 02, but we don't talk about it.
See,
I'm serious. I'm in the rat. What?
yeah, we've got the
Oh.
highest rate of rabies in our kids in the nation.
nation.
chucking rats down hills and having kids
Now,
run around.
is this they design their own catapults to compete with, or
Uh,
is it
They have it. It's actually a
Bob-
trebuchet. It's not actually a
trebuchet?
trebuchet.
Okay, trebuchet. Okay,
Yeah,
but
and
still,
somebody
it's-
built this thing and they bring it out every
I
year.
want to say, is it
Oh,
Bob
okay.
Divin, I think, built it.
I don't know.
Dresses up and has his whole presentation.
Oh,
and they
he's
put it on the
he's
hill
so into it. Yeah.
at Young Park,
Oh,
and he makes like these little beanbag rats and
Mhm.
launches it from this trebuchet down the hill, and all the kids are standing down there like, I got it. Wham! One of them gets hit with a beanbag rat, and they're just
Uh-huh.
like, I win.
okay.
It's exactly like watching cornhole.
I'm
Yeah.
serious. Yeah, but this sounds
Wham!
like
I win.
this sounds so much more fun though.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is that happening again? I missed
That's
that.
going to be
This
this
week-
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe
Is it
Sunday
the-
too. I think it's both
think
days of the
it's- yeah.
weekend.
that is so funny.
Oh yeah, and there's some neat stuff that goes on out there. Of course, you want to get your turkey legs.
Yep.
They got the turkey
Oh.
legs,
Dragon.
dragon legs.
Dragon.
Yes,
It's a Ren fair. It's a
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
yeah. One of the Catholic churches comes out and does a table with chocolates
Mhm.
and fudge and butterscotch. And,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, it's all so good.
They have the entire royal procession
Yes.
do the parade. I don't know if they're gonna be there, but they've been there every year that I went. The belly dancers tent was
Mm.
always amazing.
Yes.
They have some
and
of the
that's
most
a
Yeah.
talented dancers.
That's a talent.
yeah, that's a group here in
not
town
easy.
that does that. And
Yeah.
yeah. So you're seeing the students as they show off their skills.
That's cool.
And of course you have all sorts of
Jugglers.
booths and yeah, jugglers.
I actually
Musical
performed a
groups.
few years in it.
Oh, did you?
I wrote a like little short musical called The Princess and the Minstrel, like a little fairy tale with a little song in it. And I think 2 or 3 years running we did it.
Mm.
We're dressed all up in the old Renaissance garb and telling this story about like a princess in a high tower, evil prince falls in love. She doesn't love him though. She loves this minstrel who comes and sings outside of her window every day. And he she would wait and listen as she's locked in the tower every day for his songs. And then eventually she doesn't hear the music, and that's because the prince was thrown out of the castle and the minstrel is there at the tower door this time. You've read everyone saw where it was going from the moment I started telling the thing. But yeah, that was that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, the time flies with this stuff.
It's
Remember-
been a minute.
But
Remember-
besides everything else going on, of course, you've also got local performers that are out
Yeah.
there, local singers
Yeah.
that go on the main stage. And I don't know who's playing because they're not saying.
Yeah.
I do know you can get the tickets at Pickwick stores. You can also get them online.
See how much they are.
You
Or
can
at
get
the
them.
gates,
You can
yeah.
get them at the gates as well. So $10 per adult, $15 for 2 adults.
Oh.
12 and under are free,
Oh, neat.
Mhm.
or 3.
I
One of the
remember going to the Renaissance Fair in California. It was up in Riverside area.
Mhm.
And I'd never been to a Renaissance Fair, and there be people that go all out with their costumes.
Oh, yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like a Comic-Con. And boy, I'll tell you, all day long, I was seeing both the women in my dreams and the women in my nightmares.
Well, my sister sent me pictures because this last week up in Austin, they had their big Ren Fair, and this is big, as in the
Mhm.
buildings are permanent structures.
Mm,
The
yeah,
property is for the
Yeah.
Renaissance Fair, and yeah, she's sending me pictures all day of jousters
yeah.
and
Mhm.
knights in full armor. A barbarian guy wearing furs with a farmer's tan. And in the middle of all this, she took a picture, says, "You won't believe who's here." Says, "Well, it was a long time ago." The Mandalorian guy came out in full Mandalorian
Oh,
armor
wow.
and had a little knapsack with a Baby Yoda doll in it.
Excellent.
That's
So
great.
I was just like, "That's cool."
That's great.
So yeah, it's not the biggest Ren Fair you're ever gonna see. It's not even close, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
They have some neat stuff going on. The SCA and AmpGuard go out there, and AmpGuard puts on the Black Knight,
Yeah,
Mhm.
which he comes out there and he'll sword fight with the kids.
that's
So
cute.
yeah, they're out there sword fighting with the Black Knight, and
Unfortunately,
they
it
get to
doesn't
kill him.
swear at you when you cuddle. him,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, and he doesn't sit there and say, "'Tis only a
Mm.
flesh wound."
I was just
I'll
thinking
have
that.
you.
I was just thinking that.
Come on, you pansy. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'll bite your ankles.
Oh yeah, it's fun, and for the price, man,
That's
it's
pretty good.
worth it.
That's a good
Yeah.
price. And are they going to do the whole walking around, like when I went to look at these pewter figurines and stuff? It's
Mhm.
quite all right to fondle the pewter, my lord. And I looked at her and went, "Excuse me,
It depends.
excuse me, where
Depends
can I
on-
get a
yeah.
soda? I do not know of what this you call it." And it's like, "Oh,
So-
sure,
no,
here we go."
every time I've been, they don't have time for that because
Yeah.
it's still Las Cruces. They're
Yeah.
like, "Look, man, do you want a chicken leg or not?"
Yeah, when I
Pretty
exactly, because
much.
when I went to the one in California, I had my cell phone, and at the time, and we're talking 98, so not everybody had one, but a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't. I pull out my cell phone, man, did I get yelled at?
It's not historically accurate to the time periods. What is this strange device, my
I
lord?
forgot who it was that called. I said, I seriously have to go. I'm getting yelled at, bro.
And as far as music going on,
Oh, here
Man.
we go. Down
So-
the list.
so we start off with, of course, we have our open mics that are going on.
That is changing.
That is changing
That
one
is
of them.
changing. This week, Amaro will start at 2:00 on Saturday,
Yes.
starting this week.
Yeah.
So it's not Thursday night. It is Saturday because of the weather thing. And
Yeah.
now here's the real problem with this, because it starts at 2. Now they say 2 to 5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Last
no.
year they moved it to Saturday to see how it went.
I think they were
They were
going
nights-
like to 7 at some
Oh, they were
nights.
going to 7, 8 o'clock. And
Mm-hmm.
one time I got there, I forgot who was it messaged me. "Are you coming open, Mike?" I said, "Well, it's
Mhm.
almost over." And he goes, "No, dude, it's just getting started. It was 5 o'clock. And he
Mhm.
goes, "You coming by?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So went over there. Yeah, I was there until 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It turns into a party.
Yeah. And this
So-
is the comfortable time to move
Yeah.
it to the afternoon.
This
So that's
is
cool.
really, because we were there last Thursday and it was still nice.
Mhm.
They had the heat. The heat. They started bringing out the heaters, and it was very tolerable. It
Yeah.
was really nice, but it was like just at that point where I think Saturday's now, and here we go. It's like you're gonna be there a while. Because when I told my wife, "All right, let's go Saturday," because that's the first Saturday, she goes, "I'll tell you right now, we want because this weekend we have
Mhm.
decided we are putting up the Christmas decorations."
Mm.
My daughter and my wife, and I'm like, you know what? It's been such a rough 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's do something fun.
Yeah.
House across the street from us already put their decorations outside. Already lit up their house. I'm like,
Ah.
that we're in.
They're already putting the tree
So-
up in the middle of the plaza.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I think
Christmas
that's,
decorations just start in November. Now.
I think it's great though, because of the with
Creepy.
everything going on. Let's do that. But yeah, my
I'm-
wife already. I said, well, we've got to stay there. She goes, 5:30. We will stay until 5:30. I went, oh, okay.
There you go.
She's like, I'm not staying until 8.
So you got the open jam going on
Yeah.
Saturdays now.
Yeah.
Of course, Little Toad Creek is still on Wednesday nights.
Now you mentioned last time they moved it inside.
they moved it inside,
Okay.
so it looks like that might be the new norm.
Okay. Yep.
And it was fine. The
Mhm.
sound is a little different inside
Yeah.
because it's a big long hallway,
Yeah.
no real ceiling on that building.
Yeah.
Right.
So the sound goes weird ways, but it still worked out really well, especially with people who project when they sing. It comes across pretty well,
Yeah.
and you never know who's going to show up. We've had a guy that showed up. He showed up 2 weeks ago with a friend of his who was touring and traveling through.
Mhm.
Well, he came back this past week, and he plays a jazz trumpet,
Oh wow.
and he's a neat guy.
I got to try and make it tonight.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going on, and of course, they've got their drink specials, their food specials, and they got some pretty decent stuff.
And then also going on tonight, at Amaro, I believe they're still doing it as
Mhm.
karaoke
Okay,
Mm.
with Dwight and Lisa Dixon. So it's
yeah,
yeah, that's another one that's going on. So I'm loving this.
yeah.
I am absolutely loving
Open mic.
this.
We also have In Vintage is, I believe, Tuesday nights
Monday
or
nights.
Monday nights.
Monday nights. and in
Pete's
Vintage.
Patio is tonight.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's picking up from what I hear.
It is. Yeah, it's a nice little place. And of course, for karaoke, now Rad has gone to
Yeah.
2 nights.
2 nights a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There was by popular demand, there was so many people on Wednesdays, and it would get to the point where like 11 o'clock would hit, and I'm sorry, signups are closed.
Yeah.
It's 9 pages deep.
Wow. Yeah. I used
Yeah.
to go to a karaoke back in where I lived in Simi Valley, and there were a lot of talented people in Simi. Unfortunately, they
Mhm.
just didn't show up for this.
Yeah.
So I would go out. There was me, and there was this other lady who was very good also. So we would get up and sing, and then they said there was you do a song and you put 3 songs in, and she goes
Yeah.
down the list. Somehow me and this other lady were going a lot more often than because she would hand her a thing of put 2 more down, please.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah. So there's all that going on,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun stuff.
And they got entertainers everywhere.
Yeah. Let's
Done-
start with Amaro
Go ahead.
Winery this Friday,
Oh,
7 to 10. I'm going. I'm going to actually get a hold of my dad and see if he wants to come out too. CW Ion
yeah.
and the Long Hairs
yeah.
are going to be performing. If you've never heard these guys,
They're
they're
great.
phenomenal.
They're
CW is frustratingly good
Yeah.
at everything. I was so happy. He came out to the open jam last week, and I got to see him screw up a little bit, and it made me so happy. Now he screwed up on something that's really, really hard to do.
Mhm.
He was doing Jerry Reed's Amos Moses.
They had fun doing that.
They had a
though.
blast, and,
They-
and musically, I mean, instrumentally wise, they were dead on. But yeah, he got it's a very difficult song
Yeah.
as far as the words, and he
it's-
got tongue tied, and then lost his place.
and it was
But hey, it still worked.
God, they had but it was such a fun time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he never quit. He never says, "Okay, hold on a minute, let me catch my plate." No, which would be my thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, and there's CW is
Yeah.
he's an amazingly very personal guy, a
Mhm.
personable guy, and very talented, very skilled,
Yeah.
and definitely something you want to see. And with the long hairs backing him up,
Fun. That's the
Uh,
best way to describe him is fun.
yeah, you're dealing with 3 guys with a ton of experience
Because
behind
Dwight
them.
Dixon will. It's not just CW. Dwight Dixon will sing a few songs, and he
Yes.
is great.
Yeah.
He's fun. You just got to go down. It's a
Mhm.
party.
And
It's
he's
gonna
a
be
ham
fun.
if you catch him doing cocaine by Johnny Cash. He is a
Oh, he's
complete
so
ham
good
with
at
it.
that. I literally heard he does 2 Johnny Cash tunes, that one and Folsom Prison Blues.
Mhm.
And I heard the originals, and I was like, "Yeah, I like Dwight better."
There was a brief moment there where my brain went, "Oh, they're talking about a song. Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
Well, see him out there doing cocaine by Johnny Cash. What goes on?
Oh yeah, it's a new yeah.
We get he's got to we got to bring him back on and talk some more because oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, that was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
He is a blast. And Dwight is a great guy. If you go out, oh, warning, if you go out to Amara's open mic, if you like, what I did was I went the first time and I brought my guitar and I figured, well, maybe I'll play, maybe we just
It
no,
doesn't work that way.
no. If you bring your guitar, you bring something, he will get you on.
Mhm.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and but he's not, and he'll look at you and say, if you say you don't know if you're ready, he'll look at you and say, we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
You're playing.
And he means it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so laid back.
And you got to come out and hear Randy.
No, you
Because
really don't need to.
He has been having a lot of fun, and he's just it's been great. You have been, it's so funny in a short time. It's been a year now. A little over,
Yeah.
almost a
Probably
year.
about a year and a half
Almost, yeah.
that I've been.
But when his first time up there, he really struggled. But man, you're just doing your thing up there, and now you got
Oh yeah, it's been about a year since I
long
started
hairs,
coming out for the open
long
mic.
hairs come up there and they join you. This
It's
has
been fun.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody's having fun.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. It's been a blast, and yeah, it's put some questions in my head that I've been working on, and
Yeah.
I may announce at some point. You know,
Okay.
who knows something, but we'll see. But yeah, if you get a chance to see CW, Cooper is
Yeah.
just he's so cool,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get him on the show soon.
Cool.
So you'll get to see a little bit of him. He's consummate professional, but so much fun.
Yeah. Great guy.
He's a great guy.
And if Jaffe Ryder has time to join them,
Oh God, yes.
even better.
So definitely, and I just marked them. I marked on here that I'm going to that
Yeah.
show because I am definitely going to that show. Yeah. Let's see. That's all good stuff going on in December. Oh, there we go. I was like, this is going too far away. We're not talking about that crap. Yeah, this Friday, the Cast Outs are going to be playing. I'm not sure exactly where this is. 2461 Calle de Principal in Mesilla. With special guest Era Snow. I've heard a little bit about this band, but not anything real specific. So I'm not really sure what they're doing. Don Felix this Saturday at noon. If you don't want to go out in the evening, CL Smith is going to be playing. Of course, you know, lead singer of, among other things, Rockabilly Strangers.
Yeah.
Really, really good guy. Let's see. That's El Paso. We're not going to get into that. Sip and Pain, of course, is still on Thursday evenings,
Yeah.
starting at 6 p.m.
It's inside at
That's
Amaro.
inside, yeah. So you get to be nice and warm, get to drink some wine,
Yeah.
which makes you warmer.
Yes.
Get to do some painting, which when you're done, you'll feel all nice and warm and fuzzy because you
Yeah.
did some painting.
I still remember that one. The Sip and Pain happened on Thursday nights right before open mic, and some people would come out because, you know, after they're done with the Sip and Paint, you got to wait a little while before you can go home. So they would have their
Right.
paintings, and you look and go, oh, that's really good. And they would look at me, I know, I can't believe I did it.
Well, this is interesting. Karaoke tonight at Amaro Winery
Yeah,
is called Service Industry Night.
that's right. They're doing it's all week for them.
So, yeah, it starts at 5. 20% off all wine and beer for area service industry folks, and priority placement for service industry folks on the karaoke list.
Very cool.
So it's basically, and part of this is so they can say thank you to their employees. But understand that, yeah, working service industry, it's always been a tough thing. It seems
Yeah.
like this past year, it's been a nightmare.
I have witnessed some people that are just not being very patient with servers and stuff, and it's just been like, you know, are you not aware of what they're going through? So
Right.
I think that's great. I think it's
You know what the
fantastic.
deal is.
Yeah,
They've never been servers.
exactly.
You can always tell the difference between somebody who's worked that sort of a job before and somebody who hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since if you work that sort of a job, you know some of the disgusting things people can do to your food if you
Oh my
really
gosh.
get their wrath going.
None of that happens at Amaro,
Oh no.
but other places.
Yes. But yeah, it's just it's nice. We were at Andales Doghouse, and I guess it was a little slow, but it was nice when the servers would say, "I'm so sorry about the wait." I kept hearing, "It's okay, it's
Yeah.
all right, you're
Mhm.
fine, don't worry," you know. And so that was really nice
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
people doing that.
And this Friday at Dry Point Distillers, starting at
Right.
Is that right? Nope, that's not right. They messed up their timing.
Mm.
I don't think he wants to play like that. Dave Olguin is going to be playing at Dry Point Distillers. Anybody who doesn't know where that is, because I don't really know where it is, 1680 Calle del Alvarez C2. They have it listed on Facebook as him playing from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oops.
sure that'd be a long
I think
day.
that's a
I
typo.
don't, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing a 14-hour show.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
I've done 5, and that was pushing it.
Yes.
I'm done after 3.
Now, this Sunday at Rio Grande Winery, which has gotten cool.
Yeah.
I went to see J.R. Sandoval a couple weeks back, and they've already been making a bunch of changes. They've got used to they had a handful of tables, and that was about it. And an old rickety picnic table that really, if you looked at it hard, you get tetanus. That table's gone. They put in a whole bunch of more tables out there.
Yeah.
They have put up against the building these directed heaters.
Oh.
Really cool. So they're making a bunch of changes. They're of course adding in more food. This Sunday, so 4 to 7, Daisy Blue.
Oh, great.
So well, I
I
punched my
tell
little
ya,
button there.
I got to talk to Jaffe Ryder because a couple weeks ago Daisy joined Jaffe at Mesilla Valley Maze, and they played, and we watched it. They were great. They had 1 hour
Yeah.
that they got together and rehearsed, and they had so much fun. And
Mhm.
and Jaffe said he had so much fun. He told her, anytime, give me a call.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed working with her. He said he had so much fun.
Yeah, she's a blast. She's very good at what she
yeah.
does, but she never takes herself super, super seriously.
No, she doesn't.
So that makes it so much nicer.
He looked at he got there and she dressed, Daisy style because she's so cute. And he looked at he said I took one look at her and knew this was gonna be good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you happen to be around Zia Comics tomorrow about noon, Brett Booth.
No, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm sorry. I'm lost on the days.
That's all right.
Saturday. This Saturday.
I was like, not tomorrow.
Yeah, Brett Booth is going to be out there signing.
Yeah.
And Brett Booth is?
He's a comic book artist. Yeah, you're wearing the shirt. Yeah, that's the new series that he's doing. Of course,
the merch. They love it when you point at the merch.
Yeah. Now this is the Zia Comics version of this, but it's Brett Booth is doing the artwork for the new Spawn Gunslinger
Spawn.
series.
Yes. Okay. And also has been doing all of the connecting variants for all of the different Spawn verse books. So when King Spawn came out, he did like the kind of 90s style with all the characters in the background, and you had King Spawn right in the front. And then this one, he did a similar thing, bunch of characters, Gunslinger Spawn, and then he's doing that with each of them. So there will be a multiple connecting variant cover that Brett did as well.
Yeah, and Spawn is going to get hotter again because they are working on a new movie.
Well, so McFarlane is pushing a lot of the Spawnverse comics. So you have Spawn, King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, the Scorched, I believe Medieval Spawn is coming early next year. Like there's a whole yeah. No, there really is though. It's this weird like Spider-Verse style of like Spawn and whole universe of characters. And I was like, I missed on Spawn.
Kevin Smith is going to be writing Clerk Spawn. Yeah, it's just gonna be Spawn.
Office Spawn.
Perfect. You beat me to
it. Shows up in hell. I'm not even. But yeah, it should be fun. He'll be there from noon to 3, and we'll have a CGC rep on hand as well, so you can.
Awesome! So you can get them graded,
signed, and get them graded right there because CGC. They are one of the they're the creme de la creme when it comes to grading comics.
Yeah,
they will only
they'll authenticate it right there.
They have to have a witness and authenticator there when it gets signed in order for them to verify that it is a signature.
Yeah,
like if you have a Dynamic Force says, oh, we got the certificate of authenticity that so and so signed it. They're like, cool, mark it down, writing on cover. Here's your blue bannered one back and not the gold one that says it's signed.
Yeah.
And you actually with the certificate ones, they'll mark it off because they're like, well, it's damaged. It's got writing on the cover.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, but it's the guy who wrote the thing. Is it? I wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, so you
yes.
gotta, yeah, if that's if the idea is for getting this stuff done as an
Yeah.
investment of some sort,
Mhm.
yeah, you definitely want to follow through with
Yeah.
those guys.
Or
So
even
that's cool.
even as a collector, like, this thing
Mhm.
gets sealed in a hard plastic case
Mhm.
that you have to physically break open if you ever want to take it out. Like, if you're gonna, if you're a big Spawn fan,
Mhm.
that's the way to display them.
Oh yeah.
We'll we still have some bundles left for the King Spawn and for Gunslinger Spawn, and they're cheap too. It's $30. You get 7 covers, so you actually
Awesome.
save $12, and you get every cover for the thing.
Yeah.
Many of which, like, you can't get the book anymore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Already.
It's sort of like the stereotypical, wife that cuts the coupons and
Yeah.
she spends, $500 on shoes. Well, I saved $250.
Yeah.
This is the comic book version of that.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
it-
and we, I'm a comic book collector myself. I know how it goes. You get the people that's like, well, I want this cover, but that one's cool too. But that one's cool
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I just kind of want all of them. Like, yeah, here, we got you all set.
Yeah, and then there's people like me that I pick a cover, I come up to the counter and you're fine. But then Susie's sitting there saying, why'd you pick that cover? The other cover's cooler. And I was like, I like this cover. Leave me alone. Quit
Don't-
picking on me.
Don't yuck my yum.
Don't yuck my yum. A bunch of these new phrases, like I don't care for them. That one I think is the coolest.
I like
thing.
that one. Don't yuck my yum.
So yeah, that's going
That's
on.
great.
Rio Grande Winery this Saturday at 6 p.m.
Mhm.
Guitar Slam.
Yes.
I knew that would get you. So that's
Saturday at
cool.
6. Okay.
They're also doing Rio Grande Winery today. They're doing Paint and Sip. They're doing a Chili Ristra picture. That starts at 6:30. Rio Grande Winery they're coming on strong. They're pushing a bunch of stuff to get people out there. So that's kind of cool. Of course, game night at Zia Comics this Saturday at 5.
Yep.
So you're staying nice and busy.
Oh yeah. Well, and so all of our like regular events are still going. We still do Magic the Gathering every Friday, Keyforge every Monday.
Mhm.
Sundays rotate out between. Let's see. This Sunday is it's the paint and take. So we are also doing a
Mhm.
painting thing, but it's
Yeah,
for
it's for
miniatures.
miniatures.
Miniatures. That is
That's
really
kinda cool,
That's
yeah.
that's just as
Yeah.
cool.
It lets me flex those painting muscles that I
There you go.
rarely use.
Yeah.
We still do puzzle tournament
Mhm.
every
Oh,
second
man.
Sunday.
Yeah, book club.
RPG night. Yeah, book club last Wednesday of the month, which
Yeah.
this month is Last Night on Earth, the Snyder
Yes.
Capullo.
I'm going to do my
Mm.
best to go there because I've actually already read that one.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Batman
Yeah.
story.
And just for guys like me, RPG does not mean it's
It's
ISIS
not
Taliban
rocket-propelled
night.
grenade.
But
Um,
if it's Warhammer, it could be too.
Which is the fourth Sunday.
Okay.
Segues. So we do our role-playing games.
That's cool.
Third Sunday,
Yeah.
where people can just come, like dungeon masters can reserve a table, and that is someone who tells the story, not the other kind of dungeon master.
Yeah.
That's for a different cornhole game.
Costs
Yeah.
more.
That's
That other one
way
costs
after
more.
hours.
And then then wargaming every fourth Sunday.
Oh wow.
I believe that's it right now. We finally cleared up a lot of it. That was like, it was a lot of me running events, but now the store is like, the store has always been busy, but now it's busy to the point where I don't have time to run events.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, you know how to play Magic. Here's the tables. Go nuts.
Oh yeah. If you want to go out to Blue Moon Bar this Friday at 7, Suavecito's coming to town.
Yeah.
Suavecito.
So they're very cool. I haven't
Wow.
seen them in years. They've always been around. Scott Jasmine is going to be playing at Picacho Peak Brewing on Friday at 7:30. Today, Bite of Belgium is doing DACHS Pound for Paws event. So that's of course for the Humane Society.
Mhm.
They're getting a lot of exposure and people paying attention right now. It's a fitness thing with your pets.
Yeah, I cannot.
Yoga and Pilates with your pets.
I can't take. We just lost one of our dogs. He passed away. We had him for 15 years. It was peaceful, and last time we lost a pet, and my wife said, "Okay, we're not going to get it." She was a recruiting manager over at Convergys, and they needed to do a recruiting fair. So she had the idea, or somebody had the idea of a pet adoption. And so they got like 5 or 6 of the or a bunch of the Humane Society, and they brought out pet. They adopted out 30 dogs that day,
That's
and one of them came to our house.
Yeah.
Which we still have, and I don't like him. My wife thinks he's perfect. I don't like him, but yeah, no, I'm not taking my wife to one of those again because we'll end up with another dog.
Yeah.
Hopefully not someone else's dog.
The point.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the convention center, they're doing the Las Cruces Job Fair. So if you're looking for work, that's a good thing to get out to.
So they also do like resume building and stuff like that at those usually too.
Yes.
Which, my God, so if the news didn't come out, if no one did see, recently we were in the market for a new hire.
Oh God,
and man, let me tell you, some of y'all children don't know how to write a resume to save your life.
No.
Oh boy. And phone calling in like, are you guys hiring? I don't even know who this is. No, not for you.
So
or they come in and they're like, here, I want to drop off a resume. Well, like, hi.
Yeah.
First of all, what's your name? My name is Ryan. Come again, buddy. My name is Ryan. So what kind of skills do you have? All right, thanks. We'll be in touch.
Like Kathy,
people don't know how to apply for jobs.
Kathy had started a while ago before some things happened, and she doesn't have time to run it. But Recruiter Girl Services, where she would help you write your resume, and then help coach you on interviewing skills. And that was something that is like, oh, it's so needed, because when I was teaching at Vista College, I would bring her in twice a year. And she would just sit there and, okay, bring your resume. She'll take a look at it. And there was some, she looked at it and goes, okay, you and I are going to have to talk later. And then she'll go, okay, not bad. And she'd make some marks on it. And I said, be prepared. She's going to make some marks and you're going to have to make some corrections. And she was inundated with, because then she'd give her email address and let them send it to her after they correct it. And she would give her opinion. Yeah, she helped them out a lot.
Oh, yeah. Got to point this out because I think this is kind of cool. Rockabilly Strangers plays this area like crazy, especially plays the El Paso area. Tomorrow at 9, they're going to be playing at Speaking Rock. How cool is that?
Yes. Wow.
That's a pretty big venue for those
stage.
guys.
Yeah, that is something.
And those guys, if you've never heard Rockabilly Strangers, you don't know what you're missing. They're so good. So good. And some of the nicest guys in the world. They've got a new drummer that I got introduced to at the car show in Ruidoso. It's just a 3-person band, and they rock it hard. So that's awesome. That's very cool. Dallas David Ochoa, I always screw up his name, is playing at the Hacienda this Friday at 6:30. Who else do we got? That's more Renaissance Fair stuff. We've got fundraisers coming up in December, which we will get to. There's a job fair again, and I think, are we looking at? Oh yeah, and be aware this Saturday, Dia de los Muertos, this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, I assume I'm not seeing it here, but I assume they're going to be doing out at the Mesilla Square, like they usually do. They'll have stuff going on out there, and it's cool to see. It's very cool.
You know, it's funny because when we moved out here, I said, "Oh, they do Day of the Dead out here," and my wife gave me the look. What the heck is that? And but it is.
You never seen The Purge?
Yeah, it is such a beautiful, wonderful thing. And it's not a morbid, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. If you want to get a feel for the atmosphere of Day of the Dead and what it's actually about, there's a Disney movie.
Yes.
Coco.
Yeah.
And Day of
And-
the Dead is not. It's all about remembering
Mhm.
and honoring the
Mhm.
people that in your past that you miss.
And trying not to get stuck in the afterlife if you're alive because you still stole a guitar. There is that.
These things happen. It was one time, and I said I was sorry.
But yeah, it's
But
always
yeah,
a cool
it's a
thing to
beautiful
see.
thing, and I think it's great.
Yeah. So
It's-
I believe they're doing that. I'm not seeing anything, but they always do.
Some
So-
families have a tradition of going to the gravesite of those that they lost and taking things that, like, you know,
Mhm.
like I had an uncle that my cousins would always take rum because that was his thing. He had to have, shot of rum or a little bit of rum every night. That was his
Yeah.
thing, and so they took it out there and
Wow.
they drink rum at his great site.
And that's been a something that's been adapted by a bunch of different cultures.
Yeah.
Not to give away anything in the Shang-Chi movie, but there is a scene where Aquafina's grandma, they're talking to her because she's getting ready for Day of the Dead and the stuff that she's going to leave for, her dead husband. And the one guy sitting there says, well, I don't know that, she can eat those chips, and I don't know if he can take those all back to the afterlife. And he says, of course he can. Says, last year I left him a bottle of his favorite whiskey on his grave, and says, and the next day it was gone. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But at least the
I'm still kind of
groundskeeper had
obsessed
a
about
good
that
night.
movie. So
Groundskeeper's favorite
Yeah.
time of year.
I especially love the scene in Coco where he shows up in the underworld and goes, "I'm not even supposed to be here today."
yeah.
Throwback.
And then Jay and Silent Bob show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may be the director's cut. I don't know if anybody's seen that.
It was when they teamed up with Paramount, and it wasn't just Disney.
Yeah, there we go. Chris Baker is going to be at the Icebox
Oh, okay.
Saturday at 6.
I was about to say, you haven't mentioned his name yet. I know he's somewhere.
He's somewhere, but I'm not seeing his name as often as I was. There was a point he was all over the place. I know he's working a lot, but yeah,
He may be keeping it low key because places are too busy for him.
No.
It's like
maybe, yeah.
he's got a heck of a following. It's
He
just-
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets mobbed a la the Beatles
Yeah.
at this point. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but
Yeah.
still. Yeah, I think looks like that's about all for this area. There's
All
listed
right.
on here. There's other stuff going on, of course. And of course, if you've got events going on, let me know.
Yeah.
You can get a hold of us here either at the just by commenting on the YouTube videos.
Mhm.
You can also do it by contacting us enchantmentbroadcasting at gmail.com and let us know what's going on. Or
Yeah.
there's
On
a
the social
Facebook page as
medias.
well. Yeah.
That's the meta page.
Yeah. Meta.
Yeah.
Meta. I don't know how this is going to work.
Wow.
Barbecue sauce.
Starting with the 5th, they're apparently making a bunch of changes to groups. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're
I
going to be.
mean,
So
it's one of those things where, dude, you need to sell it to somebody that
This is-
he's just
This is the same thing they did with not Patreon, the other one. OnlyFans. Every so often a company
Yeah,
gets an
they
idea
decide
where
that-
they're like,
Mhm.
I've got a better idea, and they change it, and everyone goes, this is terrible. We'll see you later. We're
Yep.
taking our money with us. And they go, wait, that was a bad idea, and we're sorry. We'll put it back.
back in the
and-
night, what was it, the late 80s, New Coke.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Tastes the same as regular Coke. Then why don't we just have the old one?
Yeah. New Coke. It's
Well-
a new formula, which sucks. Well, now we have classic.
And I think the big problem for Facebook, and I don't know why they're doing this right now. This is a case where they have been the industry standard, and
Right.
this, there's other social media, but there's
Right.
nothing like Facebook. There have been multiple groups that have tried for years to come out with the new Facebook to take
Mhm.
its place, and every time it falls flat, and it's
Mhm.
continuing to fall flat. Why would you make so many changes that you become unrecognizable when you're sitting there dominating just by
Yeah.
existing?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's when he changed the name. I'm like, and you couldn't find a better name than that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and one that's so easily lampooned.
Oh yeah.
Right. We're the meta now.
Yeah. Meta.
Yeah, well, I met a couple of bad ideas in my life too.
I think it's still going to be called Facebook by everybody. Nobody's going to give a crap.
No,
Oh, no,
no one's
no.
gonna call it the
no
Meta.
one's gonna call it Meta.
Let's face it. Nobody's calling Groku in the
Right?
Mandalorian.
No, it's Baby,
It's Baby
Yoda.
Yoda.
Get it right.
I literally stood in a store and kept going. It's Groku. No, Baby Yoda with a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
My granddaughter refuses to. I think she does it just because she wants to mess with me. But I was saying, "Oh, it's Groku." No, Grandpa, Baby Yoda.
Uh-huh.
But his name is
He
Groku.
had a name.
Grandpa, his
It
name
was
is
Baby
It's
Yoda.
like, we sit there and people are looking at us like, yeah, I know.
Oh my god. So if anybody comes into the store
Yeah.
today, because this is new comic day.
Yes.
What's new?
What
What's
are they
new?
going to be looking at?
So, hang on. I apologize. Remember, I do karaoke twice a week now.
Yes.
And so I'm usually like 8 to 2. So I work all day.
He's in very high demand.
Yeah. I honestly, we say half kidding, but no, it's gotten to the point where people are like, yeah, do you want to do a duet? Sure. Yeah. I come here to sing. So by the time like 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, there's one week, like 6 different people like, do you want to sing a duet? Yeah. All right. What do you want to sing? Do you know a picture by Kid Rock and Cheryl Crow?
Ugh, oh my
Every
god.
week someone wants me to do it. I'm down.
Oh my god. I'd have to go on a killing spree.
But when the whole place goes up, when you do the "I was out to drink you away," and the whole place goes up, you're like, yeah, it's all right.
Well, unless you were involved with a girl that wanted you to sing that with her every week.
I've even
Oh.
tried starting suggesting, like, do you want to do like the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, Shallow? No picture. All right, cool. Yeah, all right. I did War Pigs last night.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
That's cool.
yeah. So some girl in from out of town, and she's just like, I want to rock. Do you know War Pigs? I was like, I mean, they got the words up there,
Yeah.
so I can fake it. She's like, will you do War Pigs with me? Yeah, all right.
I would the karaoke I used to go to in California. It's like one night everybody was doing country.
Yeah.
Everybody. So when the girl looks at my list, and for some reason I chose Paranoid, but for
Yeah.
some reason it was Paranoid and it backed right into War Pigs.
Mm.
So I said, I go, is it both? She goes, yeah, it goes both. So just do them both. Please do them
Yeah.
both.
So coming out today, the big books. I'm trying to remember. It was kind of a light week, if I'm being honest. Let's see some of the bigger releases. A bunch of them, man. It's a bunch of people have been adding stuff to their lists. A bunch of people getting pull lists. It's great to see. So like Batman comes out this week. We don't have any for the shelf. I'm sorry. We have to order way out in advance. So when
This
all
is
of a sudden,
this is Fear State.
right?
Are
Yeah,
you
this is
having the supply chain issues that most
Yeah.
others are?
Yeah, so that whole worldwide
Yeah.
paper shortage people started talking about, it started hitting American comic books.
Wow.
We've been doing pretty good about trying to contact our distributors. Like, no, really, when we said we needed 30 copies, it's because we need 30 copies of Batman, not because we want 30 copies of Batman, but because we actually have 30 people that want it,
See,
Yeah.
and we hope to get a couple more for the shelf.
Yeah. See, we need 30. We want 50, but
They're like, well, we
need
got
30.
3. Does that work?
Not even close. Yeah.
It's like when I went,
I've been there. I hated that.
I called the place about tires and they said, okay, well, I have 3 of them. And
Uh-huh.
I said I have a car, not a tricycle, sir. But thank you for playing.
Yeah, our big thing when I was working comic book shop is this was at the height of the speculator market before it collapsed, and so we would get our books in, and we'd order 30 of a
Yeah.
comic, and we'd get in 10.
Yeah.
And we tell them, says, no, we have more people on subscription. We need those books.
Like,
Says,
no, I
well, we
put in
can-
the order for what I need. Not
so
for-
the answer that we got was, well, we can send you more when they're done. It'll be a second printing. This is a speculator market.
Yeah.
People don't want second
Right.
printings at this point.
no.
Why don't you just send me toilet paper? I can
Yeah.
do the same with that.
Yes. And it'd probably be cheaper.
Yeah, probably a little smoother too. Let's see. So on the DC front is Batman. Batman: The Adventures Continues Season 2, which is one that I was hyped about because it's a continuation of the '90s cartoon series.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And by the way, keeping in that vein, there is a new Batman animated series coming.
Oh, is there?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And
did not know that.
Dini is involved in the creation,
As he should be.
as he should be. This is basically going to be him doing Batman the Animated Series without the constraints that the network put on him
Yeah.
at the time. So there's going to be the violence will be a little more graphic, not overly graphic, but it'll be a little more real.
Yeah.
There'll be stuff like there were limitations. Batman the Animated Series, it came down from the high ups. Whenever he broke through a window, they couldn't draw any broken glass on the ground because they didn't want to be portraying a broken glass for kids.
Right.
So that was off there. So little things that he wanted to take a little bit
couldn't
further.
ever hit people with the batarangs.
Right. So yeah, it's going to be a little more
always
hardcore,
like,
but
hit the wall right next to him.
yeah, but it'll be the same look.
Yeah.
It'll be the same feel because the same writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And of course you got the comic book, which is just awesome.
Which is introduced characters from post series, like Red Hood is now in it.
Yeah. Well, Batman the Animated Series, when it first premiered, it created a character that nobody had ever seen before.
Yeah.
Not a big hit, just somebody named Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
She was not in the comics to begin with.
Three kids on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
and my wife goes, "What was that?" I said, "Harley Quinn."
Uh-huh.
She goes, "Who was that?" I go, "Kind of a Rainbow Bright on crack."
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It was, but I'm like, these are kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to say, tell me you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Probably haven't seen the newest one, but
Hello.
I'm glad that it's getting to the point where a lot of them recognize though that they're like, yeah, no, I don't like the Harley Joker thing. I just like Harley. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Although last time I went to the Las Cruces Comic-Con down here,
there's always a lot of Harleys and Jokers, and it's usually the teenagers that are dating and like, I love Ricky, I'm gonna be with him forever.
well, my wife and I dressed that way. She was a Harley Quinn, but we got a different outfit. So she was wearing a like a corseted bustier top that was black and white, black and red, and the leather pants. I was punked out. So I had my hair spiked and green, and the beard as well. Had the makeup on, but the makeup was...
You didn't do the Cesar Romero.
No, but the makeup was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough on purpose. And I was wearing these purple camouflage BDU pants.
Excellent.
And a Suicidal Tendencies shirt that I took, and where it was all white, I colored it in green.
Oh my god!
So it was a green image for Suicidal Tendencies. Went as a punk Joker and Harley, and other than the fact,
awesome.
Everybody that was dressed up like Harley, the girls that were trying to be hot, they were sitting there talking crap behind our back. Everybody else thought we were the coolest because we did something different.
Yeah,
and that's part of the fun of cosplay is getting to do something a little bit different. And we had some kids that were coming up to us and just loving it.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen there.
Huh.
I see also that they're going to be doing. You're going to have out a Batman Superman Authority special.
Yes, it's I
so
believe
you're crossing
a
over.
one-shot.
It's a one shot. Yeah, you're crossing over Batman and Superman plus a very dark superhero team called the Authority. Started out with Image Comics, and then that was a Wildstorm deal, and then DC ended up buying that and bringing him in with Jim Lee, and really cool team. I've always loved them. I haven't read them in a while, and of course Batman Reptilian.
Yeah, that one
I read the first one. I was like, it's
that was the other one I was trying to think of is Dark Knights of Steel.
Yeah, I just saw this.
Yeah, it's a high fantasy DC universe.
Knights and
yeah.
That's cool.
Which I think we've got more of that on order too, because I think that kind of
on order.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is continuing the Eat Bang Kill tour.
That was the big one that I was trying to remember. Yes, Eat Bang Kill tour. It's basically season 4 of the Harley, or 3. Well, it's bridging the gap between the next season of the Harley Quinn animated series, the one from the DC streaming service that went to HBO right after they released the second season.
I'm sorry.
Enough about it. But enough about my trauma.
He's been in therapy for it.
Yeah. No.
Here we go.
I just
Yeah. And by the way, the new season is coming. Harley Quinn is played by
Yes.
Kaylee Cuoco. Everybody
Yep.
knows her as Penny from The Big
Yeah.
Bang Theory.
Yeah.
She's really good in the show, and it's funny.
That will be
And-
interesting.
And her little sister is Batgirl.
Oh my
Awesome.
gosh.
Yeah. Like it's great because they kind of sound a little bit alike, but
Mhm.
if you've seen the series, Harley Quinn is like an absolute foul-mouthed maniac,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And Batgirls is just kind of over everything. She's like, what? Yeah, no, that's dumb.
Mhm.
Why would you? But okay, and maybe a little too innocent for her own good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got Commissioner Gordon, the hard drinking,
Very- yeah, hard-
turning your bet. I said I was gonna catch you, Quinn. You know,
Yeah, but he's a little off the deep end.
but he's
usually.
also insane.
Yeah, he's
and
nuts in
won't
this
admit it.
show. It's funny. It's not for kids.
No.
Not for kids, but it is funny.
It is
It
a
is
cartoon. It is
well
not a
done.
children's cartoon.
The team they put together. By the way, one of the best versions of King Shark I've ever seen.
Ron Funches,
Ron
as King
Funches,
Shark,
yeah.
is my favorite. Like I know everyone, a lot of people know King Shark from Suicide Squad.
I got a little problem with blood.
Yeah. So that's where I went down. I said, Daddy, I'm gonna marry for love. And you can't make me marry somebody that I don't love. And I walked out of his throne room. And then what'd you do? Well, after I walked right back in and married the girl, I think he got the point.
He's perfect in this role, and of course, Clayface is
Yes,
in it. as a-
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk.
Wash is Clayface, the traditionally trained actor.
Yes,
Yeah, because in the comics,
the first
is
Clayface
it-
was
Marco, no, it was a
forget his
Basil
name.
Carlo. It was a play on like
Yes.
Basil Carlo, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he's an actor who's putting on face makeup and stuff like that, and the
And-
fire
and it
goes
was-
off.
It
Chemicals,
was always a rough character.
and he just becomes like living clay, so he
Yeah.
can mold himself to look like anyone,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
play any part, except they take the traditional, acting kind of character, the John Lovitz style.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
And he's also the Joker.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's good.
Alan Tudyk is one of the most underrated actors on the
Oh
planet.
yeah.
He is so good. If you watch also on the HBO app, is HBO Max is Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Season 1, he plays the bad guy, Mr. Nobody, and he is brilliant. He's narrating as well as being the bad guy. He's
Oh.
breaking the fourth wall constantly,
Mhm.
and it's so good. Everything with Alan Tudyk is worth watching. Yeah, I can't even start.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you because there has been a resurgence of some books that went away for a while and have come back. Milestone Comics. From DC,
Yeah.
which
So
that was it was created by mainly black
Uh-huh.
creators
uh-huh.
creating characters of
Yeah.
different of
ethnic
ethnicity,
and minority.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how to describe them.
Icon and Rocket, Static.
Blood
there's-
Syndicate is
yeah,
coming.
yeah. There's a few of them.
And Static is getting a movie, by the way.
Is he?
Death Static is getting a movie.
Good. I hope that will help his comic.
Yeah. Because
Because
basically one of the main creators for this was the great Dan McQuarrie, who
Mhm.
amazing, brilliant writer, brilliant man. He was carrying double PhDs. He was a semi-pro basketball player at one point,
oh wow.
and just there's a documentary on his life, and the guy was just amazing, and so one of the nicest guys you could ever want to be around.
Yeah.
And so good with especially upcoming artists and writers. He would take them under his wing, very selfless with his time. But yeah, he helped create the Milestone books, and
Yeah.
Static was top among those.
Yeah. Well, it had its own animated series, so it's
Mhm.
arguably the best known of the Milestone stuff.
Oh yeah, Hardware was the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardware. Thank you. That was the other one I was trying to remember.
So yeah, and these books, everybody was like, oh, yeah, they're just gonna do it's gonna be the same characters but black. And then you realize, no, these are not taking a character that already exists and just changing some things. These are all new characters, and they're brilliantly done, and they sound real. They sound like real people. They don't sound like a stereotype. And yeah,
Well, because it's someone writing it, with experience. It's
Mhm.
not it's not Stan Lee writing Black Panther.
right.
Kind of doesn't have the same sting when it's someone like and not a dig on Stan Lee. He understood the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
But you don't make a black superhero and call him Black Panther when the Black Panthers are marching in the streets.
Yes.
And God.
Yeah, but that was such a weird time because if he had a black superhero,
You had
whatever
to
his
have
name
black in
was,
the name.
black was in the name.
Right, like Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. By the way, if you get a chance, watch the series. It's on Netflix. It's
Unless you're Black Bolt.
that's totally different.
White guy.
White guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but all black suit.
Yeah.
White guy. I guess it doesn't count because he's Martian, so
Well,
or
and,
Moonian.
and I
live on the
Moonian.
moon.
Yeah, lived on the moon.
Yeah.
Dark side of the moon.
The dark side.
That's why they he could have been Pink Bolt for Pink
Maybe
Floyd.
it was pink.
Yeah. Okay, we've gotten to a weird place there.
See, you know the story with my kids, my three youngest stepkids.
Yes.
Their father was black.
Ah.
So when my daughter saw Black Panther and everybody, oh, black superhero, this is it. And my daughter, I have yet to hear a black man talk like that. I have yet to meet a black guy that talks like that. And he ain't from no ghetto.
Yeah.
And by the way, Chadwick Boseman as Black
Yeah.
Panther, just
Yeah.
got to say he was brilliant.
Yeah.
One of the neatest guys around from everything that I've heard. People talked about him after his death, and it wasn't just a case of not having a bad thing to say. They were
Yeah.
praising him because of personal experiences with him.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to watch on Disney Plus the What If series,
Yeah.
his last acting job, he's doing all the voice work for T'Challa in that.
Oh,
And it's
excellent.
neat to hear. Just to hear a little piece of him. By the way, also DC coming up this week is the third issue of Superman
Yes.
78.
Yeah.
So they're going back. This is the Richard Donner era Superman from the movies.
Yep.
Which I always thought
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve was kind of cool.
That's the Christopher Reeve. So it's what if Christopher Reeve never got hurt and continued making Superman movies?
Okay.
That's kind of the premise because they're also doing Batman 89.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is what if they got a fifth Batman or a third Batman movie, I guess, out of Tim Burton
And fired Joel Schumacher in the process, I hope.
It's before Schumacher. So
Oh,
it's
that's right. Yeah.
Batman Returns, and then what if there was one like before Batman Forever? What if there was a movie in between with Billy D. Williams
Oh my
as
God.
Oh,
Two-Face?
Harvey
They
Dent.
cast Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent Two-Face
Oh man.
in this comic book and drew him like that. And you know what? It looks dope. Like the thing is, I want to see that scene where it's just like, "Hello, Batman,"
Offers him a Colt 45.
right? Just
My mother
It's
would not, my mother,
fantastic.
when we went and saw Star Wars, my mom was like, you guys go. Told my dad, take the kids. When Empire Strikes Back came out, we said we were watching the trailer, and all of a sudden she sees a flash of Billy D. Williams. She goes, I'll
Yeah.
go see that one.
yeah.
And my mom did.
Yep. Billy D. Williams had two
Yep.
notable parts: Lando Calrissian and Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He was in a
this
lot
was
He was also, there was another movie he did that I thought he was absolutely brilliant. It was called
Yeah.
the Bingo Case All Stars. It was a
Yeah.
baseball movie where
Mhm.
he played. It was back in the days of the Negro Leagues, and there was
Yeah.
this like Harlem Globetrotter style baseball team. He was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an early one for me. I mean, he was amazing. If you look, he did a lot more than those two.
Oh yeah.
But that's what he's known for.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he was amazing.
well, and like my knowledge is all from the nerd sphere, so I know like, well, he was in Star Wars and he was in Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a ton of movies.
Oh yeah.
and Colt 45 commercials, but he's
Hey.
done a ton of work.
Made a bunch of money for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who doesn't know I like to relax with an ice cold Colt
Oh.
45.
Yeah, I remember those. I actually watched those happen when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they had a lot more. I don't know. Beer commercials were different back then.
Yeah,
I
now-
actually
now
remember the
it's
beer
like-
commercials when they actually showed them drinking the beer.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
they're not allowed to do
Now
that
they
anymore.
can't. Yeah, and it's always just like Budweiser
Yeah,
for when it's time to party.
Yeah.
Like,
Miller time.
Miller time for when you don't want to feel feelings anymore. Coors Light, punch your wife. Wait, hang on.
Well, what was it? It was Miller, wasn't it? It don't get any better than this. I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
it gets better
really
than
does.
this. It gets
It
a
really,
lot
it
better
really
than
gets
this.
quite a bit. I'd rather lick my bathtub.
Then they had the Miller Lite commercials that went great taste, less filling. That
Yeah.
that argument
Mhm.
that went on. It was, oh my gosh! I remember being in high school in the football
Great
games.
filling, less taste. Wait, shit. That doesn't work.
I remember though going to high school football, and when I was in high school, go to football and then break out into that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then my dad would go, "They don't even drink beer." Yeah, they do.
You know, the best ad campaign they had, I still think, Waza.
Oh,
God,
that
yeah.
was
Everyone,
that was
they
Budweiser.
made a culture out of it. Like
Budweiser.
early 2000s, you could call anyone and just Waza.
Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about Screaming Scary
Yeah,
Movie earlier.
They had that
Had a scene in that,
They had
yeah.
a scene in that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I had probably still have the mask from Scary Movie of the ghost face with the tongue hanging
Yeah.
out. He's like,
That was the one where you see
What you
Damon
doing?
Wayans. Oh, just
Chilling,
chilling.
killing.
No, the
Or
Damon
killing,
Wayans
chilling,
character, just watching the game, smoking some bud.
Oh yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I know more DC than anything else that's coming out, but I know there's a bunch more.
IDW put out Star Trek Mirror War issue 2.
Yeah.
So they're doing all the Mirror War stuff, but
Mhm.
they're doing it with other Star Trek series.
Yeah.
It's not
And-
just, Spock with a goatee.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, Star Trek did a series. The original series did one. It was
Mhm.
called Mirror Mirror, and it was the Mirrorverse, which was basically a universe that was swapped.
Mhm.
It was a parallel universe where all the good guys basically were bad guys, all the bad guys were good guys.
Yeah.
And you could tell the bad guys because the bad guys all had goatees, and it still works to this day. Just saying.
Identifiable. Except
dark
for,
English accent and a
except
goatee,
for
that's what-
Worf.
Uh-huh.
Worf still has the beard. And you
Awesome.
would think, being the gruff Klingon warrior,
yeah,
would be clean shaven.
Well, you
goatee
can't
and
all
a
get away
dark
with it.
English accent. That was a villain.
Mhm. Well, they did original series Star Trek. They did the Mirror Universe
Yeah.
stuff. Peter David did a book called Mirror Mirror that was really good, bringing Next Gen into the Mirror Universe. Next Generation, the TV series, never did a Mirror Universe story. Same thing, I believe that Voyager never did, but Enterprise dealt with them. Deep Space Nine dealt with them, which was
Mhm.
creepy as Nana Visitor, who played Major Kira, played an evil version of Major Kira that was evil and a little S&M. And yeah, she's the sort of thing that you'd be enticed and uncomfortable all at the same time. And they've even done some mirror stuff, well, a bunch of mirror stuff with the new series of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, who I've already mentioned today that I
Right.
love, she was in that as she was the Empress, who comes back to their universe after basically she's shown to be weak, which means they're going to kill her.
Right.
So yeah.
But yet it still works.
Oh God. And those stories are the best stories ever
Yeah.
because you can take these characters and just go wherever you want. And let's face it, you talk to most actors and they'll tell you it's so much more fun to play a villain than a good guy.
Oh yeah. 1000% of the time.
Mhm.
The good guy, you have to do that Dudley Do Right thing, and it's always very cookie cutter. It's very formulaic,
But somebody must save Nell.
right?
Sorry.
Wow.
But how many people actually understood that reference
I
just
know.
now?
How many?
The Brendan Fraser movie? Oh God, people.
Yeah, right. No, that was George of the Jungle.
Actually, it was both.
Yeah,
That's right. He did.
there was a stint there where Brendan was doing like all of the
Yeah.
kind of remake movies.
Yes.
And I'm like, you have. Come on, man! You're better than this. You're blessed from the past.
Yes.
You worked with Alicia Silverstone.
And now, by the way, getting back to something I mentioned earlier, if you check out the Doom Patrol series,
Mm.
he's playing Robot Man.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Fraser. You don't get to see him very often, except they
Yeah.
do some weird out of body things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just his voice because his brain was scooped out of his skull and put in this robot's body,
Right.
and he's great.
It's kind of like that Tin Man with depression.
Yeah, and a foul mouth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that always makes it work.
Oh, it's such a good series, but yeah, once again, not for kids. but
I always
it's
love
good.
his reactions where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the new series, in the TV series, his big thing is what the F a lot. Basically, no matter what's happening, he has no idea what the hell's going on. And they go so weird. If you want something that's kind of a brain trip, Doom Patrol is the show for you. It's so out there, and
I've
it's
seen
so
the first
good.
season. I didn't get past it.
Oh,
Or not the first season. I'm sorry, the first episode.
oh my
And
god.
it's one of those that's been in the backlog, but you know, HBO.
I love it. I love it. I love it. They're getting close to the end of the season, and I've just been watching every episode as it comes out.
Yeah.
So, and that's
When
season
isn't
3, I think.
Titans is getting a third season too, aren't they?
Titans. No, that they are finishing up their 3rd season. They are getting a 4th.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol is going to get a 4th season as well. Harley Quinn is going to get a
Third
third.
season. Yeah.
3rd? No, 4th.
Third.
1,
Well,
2. They've
There's
done
1 and 2.
okay.
And
1
2
and
was
2.
where ends.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts, Poison Ivy leaves Kite Man for Harley.
Yeah. Although
DC finally confirmed it. It only took 30 years, but Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are a thing.
yeah, but I mean that's all good and fine, except I feel bad for Kite Man because Kite Man
was a great character.
He's an
but let's be honest.
yeah.
What did he have going for him? A kite and a hell yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. He's one of the characters, and in the comics,
Yeah.
actually kicked Batman's
Yeah,
butt.
He actually
badly
has beaten Batman.
with kites.
Yeah.
How badass do you have to be?
This is an actual supervillain that exists. BJ.
Yes.
Okay.
Kite Man.
Yeah.
He pushes a button on his chest and a kite expands from his back and he can use it to soar through the skies.
hmm
What time is it?
And that's cut to the DC bullpen back in the 60s going,
Oh yeah. I guarantee you.
what if we got a guy who likes kites?
And they were so embarrassed you never saw the character again.
Yep.
Well, the guys that are doing the Harley Quinn animated series are huge fans.
Yeah.
So they're doing
Oh.
deep cuts like you wouldn't
And
believe.
who's-
Funny.
Who's Kite Man's arch nemesis? Condiment King. Not
Yes.
Condom King. Condiment King.
Yes.
Who has mustard and
Wow.
ketchup guns.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
With big tanks of them on his back.
So
There
they're
was-
taking these characters and just making them fun.
There
Yeah.
was a movie. It just
Bring
reminded
in
me.
Polka Dot Man.
There was a Ben Stiller movie where.
Mystery Men.
Thank
Yes.
you. Where I just had the image of the girl with the bowling
Mr.
ball.
Furious
Yeah,
and the
Mr.
bowler.
Furious.
Yeah.
And,
I just recently rewatched.
and then the
and
colon.
that's the bowler's daughter, actually, not even
Yeah.
the original
Yes,
bowler.
right.
This is all,
Carmine Falcone.
yeah.
all based on a comic book by Flaming Carrot Comics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was.
You had,
I just had an image of that because it
The
was.
Blue Raja.
Mhm.
Why are you called the Blue Raja? Because Silverware Man doesn't sound cool.
Everything about that movie was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um,
I always forget how many stars are in that too.
mhm.
Paul
Jeffrey
Rubens was-
Rush.
Yes.
Paul
Uh,
Rubens was the colon.
Paul
Mhm.
Rubens was the spleen.
The spleen.
The
That's it.
spleen.
I think that was one of those.
Kel
names.
Mitchell, Ben Stiller,
Yeah.
William H. Macy,
Mhm.
Hank Azaria, Janine Garofalo,
Yes.
Eddie
So-
Izzard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge cast. Amazing show. Funny too. It was very tongue in cheek. Another deconstruction of in this case the superhero trope.
Mhm.
And
And
you had
done
to
really
think-
well.
You had to think they looked at the script and goes, "Okay, it reads dumb, but I have to do this."
Yeah.
Yeah. God gave me a
This is
gift.
Fun.
I can shovel well.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
this looks like it's gonna be. It may not do well, but man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I love Macy's. I can shovel.
Yeah.
And I'm damn good
Okay.
Baby,
Unless-
you shovel better than anyone I've ever seen. It's like, oh God.
at it. I love Kel Mitchell's. I could turn invisible,
but only when
but only when nobody's looking at me. Well, so have you tried?
Yeah.
So you turn invisible? Well, no, because if I look at myself, then I become visible again.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
it.
can only become invisible when absolutely no one is looking at you, including yourself.
Uh-huh.
Correct.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everything was just bizarre, but it worked so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, one other thing from the Harley Quinn animated series, they brought in Dr. Psycho
Yeah.
and made him a major character. He was never a major character.
And a major douche.
The first episode, he
Yeah.
gets kicked out of the League of
He gets kicked
villains.
out of the Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, because he's fighting with Wonder Woman, and in the middle of it calls her the C word, and they're like,
Yep.
you know,
And they're just like,
we're
whoa,
we're evil,
whoa,
but there's
whoa.
certain lines we don't cross.
that's too far, Dr. Psycho. You're out of the Legion of Doom. And that's how he joins up with Harley's gang.
I have to see this.
Oh, it
now.
is so good. It is
And
so good.
that's after his redemption. He's like, what? I've turned it around. I've turned over a new leaf. 5 minutes into joining Harley's gang, does it again. And they're like,
And I believe it was
Psycho.
to Wonder Woman again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, everything about that show is just
Yeah.
wrong. But man, it's like watching South Park, and you know it's wrong, but you
Oh.
can't stop laughing.
Yes.
Yeah. Bane, they do a parody of Tom Hardy's Bane from The Dark Knight
Yes.
Returns. That you think you're in the dark? I was born in the dark. Well, he sounds like that in the entire time.
Yeah.
So they can't afford in finger quotes for those listening to the podcast. Enough chairs for everybody. So you have the Legion of Doom with, like, you know,
These
the
really
Penguin
nice-
and Mr. Freeze,
yeah.
all these nice big evil chairs in the boardroom, and he's on a folding chair. He's like, "What do you mean we don't have it in the budget? You told me I had to sit on a folding chair because we couldn't even afford enough chairs for all of us." No, we actually just did that because it was funny. I hate all of you.
Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah.
This
Everything about it is so
oh,
good.
Man.
Yeah. There's something about being able to step out, and you're doing these serious shows because Doom Patrol is weird.
Mhm.
Titans, dark
Mhm.
and heavy, but
Yeah.
really good. They did a season of Swamp Thing,
Mhm.
dark and heavy.
And they canceled it way before they should have.
Oh yeah, the first season was brilliant, perfect in every way, including they brought in the Blue Devil,
Yeah.
who Ian Ziering from 90210 was playing the Blue Devil, and he was good.
Yeah.
Even before you got to see him as his alter ego, he was
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So, you know, and everything about that show was just perfect. And yeah, they shouldn't have canceled it. They really should. There's a big group that want it brought back. We'll see.
Yeah.
But dark and heavy. And then you have Harley Quinn,
Right.
which is
It's
silly and
It's
over
the
the top.
breath.
Mhm.
You know, you can't just do tension and tension and tension. Yeah, there has to be the
Yeah. And it's showing, you know, different personalities that
Right.
are coming out in this whole thing. So yeah, it's funny as all get out, and it's worth watching.
yeah.
Everything in it is just over the top. Yeah, Batman. Every time he shows up, the Joker's making jokes about him having sex with bats, and instead of him, you know, doing like the regular Batman thing, no, he immediately gets defensive. I don't. You're just like, dude, you know, when you do that, you're just giving him more ammo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the few times that Batman's popped up in the series, he's just an absolute loser.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And see, my favorite part is in my head canon, that's how it actually is. Like, Batman
I
is
think a lot-
told from the perspective of Batman. Like, I am the villain. I am the knight. I am Batman. And in his mind, he's like, that sounded really cool.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, is it a long?
Like,
Oh, he's kind of
he's
like
a little kid running around in his pajamas on rooftops, and he's
He's-
like, I'm superhero.
he's kind of like Kronk going from rooftops with his
Right.
own theme music.
Yeah. And I think in my mind, for him, it's the like really cool martial arts, all this stuff. And everyone else is just watching like this kid go, yeah, bang, pow, sup. Got him.
Well, you do a breakdown of Batman,
Which is
and what
why
that
I like
means.
Last Man
When
on
we were-
Earth.
when
Oh,
we-
yeah.
When we were kids, we used to say Batman. We thought Batman. Well, my group of friends, we thought Batman he didn't have any superpowers, so it was just,
Yeah.
he was just a rich guy with an ego.
Oh, and I loved him. Oh man.
And-
But if you do
and
the
I-
breakdown, he goes around, he beats up criminals, ties them up, and then the cops come in and,
Yeah.
and find them. And what they find is a crime scene.
Yeah.
created by the guy who assaulted these people
Yeah.
and tied them up.
Yeah.
So they're not going to arrest them for anything in reality.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the premise of if you've ever read White Knight, I want to say it was Sean Murphy
Yes.
wrote and did the art for it. Batman finally snaps and has enough and jams a bunch of prescription pills down the Joker's throat, intending to kill him.
Yes.
It accidentally cures his insanity.
And he becomes a good guy.
And he runs for mayor and wins.
Yeah.
And is on the grounds of like, this entire city is corrupt. Gotham is working with a vigilante, which is a crime.
Mm-hmm.
They're working with criminals. And everyone goes, hey, yeah, he's right. It's like, all I've ever done is try to get results and point out, be the mirror to society. Have I done bad things? Yes. Am I saying that they were acceptable? No. Am I sorry? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Vote for Joker.
It was a
God.
really
or Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Joe Chill.
Did he
No.
go? Did he go back to Chill? I don't remember. I don't think he did. Chill.
I don't remember what it was in that one. It's been a minute since
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah, he had so many different names and so
Yeah.
many different origins that
This whole big reveal, like, look, I hate the Joker as a character, and like I love him as a character. I hate him as the dynamic for the Harley Quinn thing
Oh yeah.
because of how people idolize, especially
yeah.
when Suicide
They
Squad
talk about what a
came
great
out.
love story
People
that
are like,
was.
oh my god, it's so touching. Like he threw her out
No.
for a building into a vat of acid.
Mhm.
Okay, sure, it's a love story.
Well, he beat
Well, I
her in the
remember my
animated
first marriage.
series, so
Jokes.
yeah. We're not going to go into
yeah.
the whole Bill
Yeah,
Burr
he-
thing
he-
about they sit there and say there's no excuse for hitting a woman. Is that really true? We're not going to go into that storyline. but-
I mean, maybe if she throws you off of a building into a vat of chemicals, who knows? But like as a character, it's interesting because Batman and Joker really are the same character, cut from the same cloth. Batman was born into money, and that's the only difference.
Mhm.
Like, and Joker's willing to cross the line of killing people. Like, there's the line.
Yeah.
And that's why he keeps going back for him, where he's directly like, I just want you to admit that you're one bad day away from becoming me.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
Like,
there
the
have been
moment
so-
you do, we're done.
There have been so many stories where they've proved that that line is actually pretty thin.
Yeah.
Including if you watch the Titans series,
Mm-hmm.
he crosses that line and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yeah,
why Batman's not around.
the current season, basically, he's told Dick Grayson, "Be a better Batman than me,"
Mm-hmm.
and he's left Gotham in the hands of the Titans,
Mm-hmm.
who are kind of screw ups more than
Yeah.
anything.
Well, and Jason's a little.
Oh,
God, I hate Jason. Jason Todd was the second Robin.
and the only character that the fans ever voted to kill.
Yes. He was known for like Batman found him when he boosted the wheels off the Batmobile.
Mhm.
And he becomes the second Robin, gets killed by the Joker by being beaten to death by a crowbar, or beaten to near death, as we come to find out.
Mhm.
And
No, to death.
It depends on the version, I think now.
Lazarus Pit.
Yeah.
I'm going with Lazarus Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another version of him that he gets beaten to near death.
Mhm.
And Batman just forgot to check for a pulse because no, I'm Batman. This little kid. And so they killed Robin,
Mhm.
and that was the death in the family. Or
Yeah.
death of the family.
Death
Death
in
the family.
Death in the family.
Death
Death
of
of
was
is
the
later
new-
on.
Yeah, well, that was the new 52.
Yeah, that was after the
Um,
Joker removed his own face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're not kidding.
Yeah. and then put it on straps and wore it. Like, why'd you cut it off in the first place? Yeah, but story reasons. But yeah, it's then he comes back as the Red Hood, who's basically like, I'm Batman, but I'm not afraid to shoot people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his shtick.
Mhm.
And he just kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah,
he's kind of a douche.
yeah, and they're doing the Red Hood story in the Titans show right now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is rough.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't even.
I
I can't even.
will say to that show's credit though, in the second season with them doing kind of the Judas Contract stuff, where you have
They
Deathstroke
did it so
throws. Now you have to remember, okay, I hate Jason Todd, but he's a teenager. Like he's just meant to be, I think, a 16 year old kid.
Yeah.
And he's picked up by this assassin Deathstroke and thrown off a building.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, bye, kid. And he slowly falls to his death and is saved in the very last second.
Yeah.
And then the kid has absolute trauma and PTSD where he's like just sitting in his room and
Yeah.
all he can do is remember falling.
Yeah.
Oh
And they've been dealing with that, which is cool.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, oh, he's a superhero, so he moves on.
Like, guess we move
No.
on. Like, no, homeboy got thrown off a skyscraper. You don't just go okay after a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, so I will say, at least to their credit, they made him a little bit more interesting in that.
Yes. Oh,
In
definitely.
the comic books, Jason still just kind of sucks. Other than the 3 Joker story,
Mhm.
they made him a little more human.
Yeah.
But even then, he still kind of sucks because he's just kind of like his big thing is that Batman needs to cross the line in order to get the job done.
Yeah.
And as long as he won't kill, he's not fixing anything because they'll just come back like the
Yeah.
Joker
Mhm.
and kill again, like they killed me. So what, you care about the Joker more than you killed me? It seems like kind of this like, oh, you love him more than you love me. That's why
Yeah.
you won't kill him. Just say it.
Okay.
I want you to say it. Like that's kind of what
Yeah.
what it
It's-
feels like.
Smothers Brothers with masks.
There we go. That's okay. That's a good one.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah. And we had to get more into some
Yeah.
of the shows, not just the current ones, but some of the older shows
Yeah.
that they've done, because there was good TV shows long before the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course the DC shows adding into it.
Right.
There were some early shows that were really, really good, and they're available.
Yeah.
Anything DC for the most part, if you got the HBO app, they've got it up there. I believe they even go back as far. I know the DC Universe site. Sorry, I believe they brought that over to HBO. They have a remastered Shazam series.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel or Shazam. I forget what they called it.
I think it was Shazam.
I think it was Shazam,
Mhm.
which saves things because
Yeah.
they got into a big fight with Marvel over the names
Yeah.
because there was a Captain Marvel in both of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even though DC is actually
It
older.
predates. It
Yeah.
predates DC.
I remember
Yeah.
in the 70s there was the Captain
Mhm.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel Comics comes around
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, well, but we're Marvel Comics and we
Mhm.
have a character named Marvel Comics and long standing
Mm-hmm.
court battles. And finally the judge was like, just give them the name Marvel. You guys already use Shazam as basically a synonym for it.
Because the
Mhm.
kid
Can
would
we just call this?
the kid would go off, he would say Shazam, and he would
Right.
turn into Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And it's still essentially like that, except now I think they've officially canonically his name is Shazam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've taken out
He's
the
not
Captain Marvel. Thing.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know if that's true in the comics, but it is true in all the other media.
mhm.
And of course,
Well, all the
the
comics
movie.
are calling him Shazam and everything too,
Okay,
which is weird because he can never like.
he can't say
Thank
his own
you,
name.
hero. What do we call you? Anytime.
Let me spell it. Yeah. By the way, anybody
S
who saw the
way you say my baby.
oh God, no.
The moment you said spell it, I was like, why hasn't he done that?
What, you know what? There's a new movie
And
coming out.
Krasinski can sing. He was in Tangled.
Yes. So and who knows? There is a second Shazam movie on the way. There is also something else coming. The trailer is out, and if you get a chance to see this trailer, it is on YouTube. Black Adam
Oh,
Mm.
with The Rock.
oh,
It's the
okay.
role that he's
Rock the
always wanted
Dwayne
to play.
Johnson.
Oh, wow.
This is the character he's a fan of, and he's getting to play him.
Oh,
And the movie looks good
Yeah.
and
Cool.
harsh. I mean, the very start of it, they summon him, and they've got these soldiers with guns around him. And one of them comes up close to him, and he just kind of moves real fast and grabs him by the throat, and then starts sending lightning through him until all that's left is bones.
Yeah.
I mean,
huh.
You know
Yeah.
we kind of if you like the Snyder versus Justice League,
mhm.
the only reason why they're still doing stuff with a lot of those characters is because of The Rock.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like, all right, I'll do this movie,
Mhm.
but I want to fight the Justice League. And they're like, yeah, we'll find some great people to cast. He's like, no. I want to fight that Justice League.
Mhm.
well, Rock, that's going to be kind of difficult. He's like, who's your second choice to play Black? Okay, well, we'll start making some phone calls, Rock. We'll get on that. Yeah,
Well-
you do that. I'm going to make you $80 billion because I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, what's neat about this first movie, you know who he's actually going to be starring with in it?
Hmm.
Members of the Justice Society.
Mm.
Are they doing Justice Society?
So you're going to do Al Pratt,
Yeah.
the Atom.
Mm.
I don't know who else they're all doing, but yeah, it's a bunch of members. I believe, Dr. Fate, who's going to
Oh,
be
nice.
played by Remington Steele.
Oh,
Pierce Brosnan?
yes.
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Gosh, that's an odd one.
Brosnan, huh?
So
I could
yeah, we'll see.
That's an odd
They, yeah, because Dr. Fate and Dr. Strange are always kind of those like they're two sides of the same coin. So you get you got Benedict Cumberbatch, Pierce Brosnan, kind of
Mhm.
similar look there.
Well, and Pierce Brosnan just in his run on Doom Patrol, where he was playing Niles Calder and did
Yeah.
it really well.
Yeah.
Really despicable version of Niles Calder, which is the best version. When they tried to make him into a good guy, that never worked. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was always borderline evil. He was definitely bad.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if it'll show who's in the cast so far.
For Black Adam.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. Yeah, they're going to have ISIS in this, which came out in the New 52 stuff with a
Mhm.
hellishly good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, show me more. I want to see. There we go. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, Dr. Fate. Aldous Hodge is going to play Hawkman.
Interesting.
Jimon Hansu is coming back to play the Wizard.
Mm.
Quintessa Swindell, I don't know who she is, but she's going to be playing Cyclone, also a member of the Justice Society,
Mhm.
the newer Justice Society.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mercenary number 1. Hey, that's great.
Well, at least he knows what he's.
So yeah, well, we'll see. There's only so many names that are out right
Yeah.
now, apparently.
But it's an interesting character because he's the only other being wielding the power of Shazam,
Yeah.
essentially.
And you're dealing with, once again, the term of anti-hero, because he's not
Right.
always a villain. He's not always a hero. He does his own thing.
Right. His thing is so the best summation I once heard someone give to Black Adam is he's Dr. Doom. To an extent. Doom wants to take over the world. Doom wants just absolute power.
Mhm.
Black Adam wants to be left the hell alone in Kahndaq and just like, let me just rule my place and y'all just like go away. But if you do cross the borders, it's like fights out.
Mhm.
And occasionally he, maybe oversteps those bounds, or it depends on who's writing it.
Yeah.
But effectively, it's also that same kind of issue with Doctor Doom, where it was like, as Stan Lee would say in interviews for years, that Doctor Doom's most interesting quality was even if the Fantastic Four did stop him, the police can't touch him.
Yeah.
He's got diplomatic
Diplomatic
immunity.
Yeah.
He's a foreign dignitary.
Yeah. For the most
What are you
part,
gonna do?
yeah. Black Adam's main interest is making Kahndaq great again.
Yeah.
Ooh, did I really go there? Ooh, how horrible.
Like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah. Yeah. Or else. Yeah, throw in or else and you got it there. Man, we've gone
We are
over
way
time a
over
bit,
it.
but
But yeah,
it's hard once we get started on this,
A lot
isn't
of
it?
information we went through.
Yes.
Yeah. And
It was kind of, I mean, there was, I wasn't here last
yeah,
week.
we
That's
were kind
right,
of
we had to make up
pent
I was
up.
busy dying on my couch.
Yes. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Thank you. Me
So-
too.
Lost
I'm
some of
glad
your
I
hair,
didn't
but-
actually die. Yeah, it falls out. You cough enough and it
Yeah.
blasted out like a porcupine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
But,
thanks
yeah.
for coming.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for all the information.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely stop by and see Trevor over at
Yes.
Zia Comics.
We do have some comics.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to put it out there like, there's just none.
Oh, yeah.
Shelves are
Nine.
empty.
No.
You guys-
we do have comics.
You guys
Yeah.
do pretty well for keeping stuff on the shelves.
Thank you. It is. We try very, very hard.
Yeah. I don't actually have a subscription on anything, although you would think that I do on one book because somebody holds a copy back for me every week,
Who's
every month. I wonder who.
that? Susie?
Yeah.
I mean, I see Green Lantern. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, Randy will be in soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and since the new series is so much better,
Yeah.
I'm happy again. So and especially every time Jon Stewart shows up, that's my Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And 2022 is coming,
Yeah.
and we're promised a movie. We'll see.
We'll see.
We're also promised a TV series on HBO Max, Green Lantern Corps,
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
and live action. So
More lantern
yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
No
can't,
CG suits.
Yeah.
can't have enough Lantern stuff. And of course, if you watch Stargirl, they've got Green Lantern's daughter, the original Alan Scott, his
Mhm.
daughter, wielding that magic green ring,
Nice.
and it is shaped like the lantern. It's
Yeah.
so cool. So
Doesn't
yeah,
work on
right.
wood, but other
yeah. Well,
than that.
I'm not gonna. I could go. I could
Neither
go there.
do I.
I
You
could
know,
go there,
hey.
but yeah, we're not gonna do that today. Anyway,
right.
thanks for joining us, everybody. BJ, thanks for coming in again.
Absolutely. And
Um,
next week we'll be back at it. And
yeah.
do we have somebody on next week, or do we know?
Working on it. I'm hoping we'll see Leon on here.
Very
So-
cool.
Excellent.
And yeah, we've
That'll
got
be
some
a
other
fun
people that we're just trying to get the dates. Going to say yes.
Very
so
cool.
Yeah.
pick the dates. So
All
Excellent.
right. And join us we'll be here the first week of December. You'll be
Mhm.
back,
Yep.
and we'll have a lot more. A
And
lot
you'll
more.
have things you'll want to talk about.
Yep.
I will too.
and I got almost all the bugs worked out. So we're going to have a second bit of content that's going to come
Cool.
on the YouTube channel every once in a while.
Excellent.
Very cool.
So yeah, and Trevor's going to be a part of it. BJ's going to be a
Yeah.
part of it.
Yep.
Sounds like Truman Provincia is going to be a part of it as well.
That'll be fun.
We're going to have some fun, and I promise you, our first trying video is going to be something yummy. So don't worry about that.
There
A
we
little
go.
later in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to try new things first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save that for when we do, squid and
Oh
octopus.
God.
Oh, we can make a game out of it.
We'll see
There
you
we
next
go.
week.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
See you guys
On that
later.
note.